Live from Merrill Green Stadium in Bryan, Texas, SHN Sports presentation of Georgetown Eagle High School football is on the air. Hello, everyone. Welcome into this afternoon's broadcast. Brad Tillery here with you alongside Kelly DeVoll, Dave England down on the sidelines, Nathan Height running the show for us here up in the booth as the Georgetown Eagles get set for this round 3 matchup against the number 5 undefeated Shadow Creek Sharks. And Kelly, we got we think on a beautiful afternoon here, a heck of a game in front of us.
It's going to be a big game. I think we're going to have a great game today. Georgetown is playing their best football of the season right now, which is exactly what every team wants to do, is peak at the end of the year. They got a high-powered Shadow Creek team that they're going to be up against, so it's going to be a test for both defenses today. Should be interesting, and the ones that come up with the biggest plays are going to be the ones that walk out of here with a victory and a gold ball.
Winner of this game will be declared the regional semifinal champs, and they will go on to play in a bit of a shocker, Foster next week. Foster beat Hutto by 10 points last night.
Yeah, Foster jumped up and surprised Hutto, and I think a lot of people were expecting Hutto to make a run at the state finals, but didn't work out that way, so it's going to be an interesting matchup next week regardless of who winds up playing Foster.
All right, folks, we're going to step aside, let you hear from some of our sponsors. When we come back, we'll continue to set this ball game up for you. Georgetown taking on Shadow Creek back here in Bryan for the second straight week. Round number 3 of the Texas High School Playoffs. Winner goes to the quarterfinals. Stick around with us.
Santa Phil is ready for Christmas. Santa Phil will attend birthday parties, call your child on or before Christmas to remind them that Santa is watching, receive and reply to wish letters, take Christmas card photos, receive and reply to wish emails, help with special promotions, and assist in advertising campaigns. Be sure to visit Santa at the Georgetown Christmas Stroll this Saturday in Georgetown. Visit your-santa.com for more information. That's your-santa.com. Merry Christmas from Santa Phil.
The University Interscholastic League would like to thank its corporate sponsors. Without the generous support of these sponsors, many UIL activities would not be possible. The UIL gives special thanks to Balfour, Baylor Scott & White, Dairy Max, Dairy Queen, Ford, Fox Sports Southwest, Gatorade, Hellas Construction, Max Preps, the NFHS Network, Nike, Register My Athlete, Spalding, and Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. These generous corporate sponsors support the UIL in all its activities, music, academics, and athletics. The UIL appreciates these sponsors and their participation in all that the UIL does in Texas extracurricular activities. On behalf of the UIL and its corporate sponsors, thank you for supporting UIL activities in your community, and enjoy the game.
So why do teenagers play high school sports?
My reason why is a sense of purpose.
My reason why is to inspire others.
One reason student athletes seldom mention is to get an athletic scholarship. They know that only 2% of all high school athletes are awarded a sports scholarship. So why do they play?
My reason why is friendship.
Tell us your reason using the hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
This message presented by the NFHS and the Texas University Interscholastic League.
We are the UIL.
From the coaches
to the players
to the educators.
We've been in your shoes.
Extracurricular activities are essential to the development of our youth.
From proposed rule changes
to the relaxation of transfer rules, we keep it fair.
New academic contests, we hear you loud and clear.
New events are music to our ears.
We just added film. That's a wrap.
Educational activities help young people become productive citizens.
From staph infections to steroid use.
To cardiac and concussions.
Health and safety is a priority.
Heat, heart, and health history.
From heat-related illness to head injuries to heart-related issues to the medical history of students.
Your well-being is our priority because we are the UIL.
We are the UIL.
We are the UIL.
We are the UIL.
Back here at Merrill Green Stadium in Bryan, Texas, we count down to kickoff for this round 3 matchup between the Georgetown Eagles and the Shadow Creek Sharks. Shadow Creek coming into the ball game ranked number 5 in the state. They're undefeated. Kelly, just their first season in UIL competition and a 12-0 record to their resume.
Whenever Shadow Creek came into existence, they redrew boundaries. And this Shadow Creek team is made up of some players that would be playing for Manville, who's a traditional football power in the state. So there's some talented athletes on this team. Again, 5th ranked, like you said, Brad. And Georgetown has probably their toughest test since the Hutto game. Yeah, you mentioned talented athletes. This Shadow Creek team, on the defensive side alone, about 6 players being recruited to play Division I football. We know that if it's several players on their roster have already committed to play Division I, including some Big 12 ball. This is a team that is just full of talented players. But they've been playing some really close games lately. They're both their playoff wins so far just by a touchdown. In fact, right here at Merrill Green Stadium last Friday after the Georgetown game, they played Cedar Park. That game was tied deep into the 4th quarter. Yeah, Cedar Park is not the traditional power in Cedar Park that we were used to this season. They had some struggles, but that game last week was really interesting from the standpoint of they struggled to put Cedar Park away, and Cedar Park had a chance to come back and win that football game. So yeah, Shadow Creek jumped down to a 14-0 first quarter lead. That was a 14-14 game until about 6 minutes or so to go in the 4th quarter when Shadow Creek went on a 3-play drive, scored, and then stopped Cedar Park. Cedar Park was driving. They were at about the 31-yard line of Shadow Creek before the Sharks were able to finally put the Cedar Park Timberwolves away. And so Shadow Creek comes in with that 12-0 record still intact. They were the champions of District 10. So this is the 3rd straight week in the playoffs as well. Georgetown's playing a district champion. Started out with co-champions against Seguin. Last week playing the New Caney Eagles, who were district champions in District 9. And now you get the District 10 champs. It's games like these where we talk so much about fundamentals, and sometimes when you're playing a little bit lesser opponent, you can get away with some slip-ups. But in a game like today, both teams are going to have to be fundamentally sound, tackle well, maintain their assignments on offense and defense, maintain their blocks, and whoever does that the best today is going to walk out of here the winner. It is a beautiful day here in Bryan, but a bit windy. We'll kick it down to Dave England, who's on the sideline as the teams get ready to come down here come out of the tunnels in just a second. Shadow Creek's already lined up in their inflatable tunnel. Georgetown still getting loosened up in the south end zone. They'll do it in a second. The Sharks taking the field in their black uniforms. Dave, I know it's windy down there, but I was down there for pregame. Has it picked up any or lightened up at all?
It has not. The wind is really swirling around down here in the stadium. It's 74 degrees. Winds are steady out of the 15, a lot of gusts, and it's dry. Humidity's 26%. Let's see if we can get a quick interview with Coach Dean. Coach Dean, here we are in December football. Give us your thoughts on today's football game.
Well, man, what a beautiful day for a football game. You know, we're just excited about the opportunity again, get a chance to be here with a team and, you know, get a chance to be in front of our fans one more time. So, man, we're just excited to be here.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, the Georgetown Eagles getting ready to come through the paper out of the tunnel here as well, as actually the paper's already ripping thanks to the wind.
Those girls are struggling holding that sign.
It is blowing left to right today. Actually about the same direction. I think it was blowing here last week towards the south end zone. The Georgetown fans on the far sideline this week going nuts as the team blows through the paper. The horn going as well, and Georgetown has taken the field. The Eagles in the white unis today with the playoff blue pants and the silver helmets. Shadow Creek today wearing the all-black uniforms with the numerals and shoulder pads cut in a Carolina blue kind of color, trimmed out in white, but the all-black unis, black helmets. It's 75, 78 degrees today. That could get a little warm down there on the fake turf.
There is not a cloud in the sky. So I was thinking as we were driving to the stadium and it was already in the mid-70s that the heat could become a factor in a December football game. So I think we're going to wind up in the low 80s by the time this game is done. So I think conditioning is going to play a factor. We'll see.
This Shadow Creek team, a team that really thrives on speed. They're fast. They do have some big offensive linemen. But Georgetown, you got to think they're going to come in and just try to out-physical Shadow Creek if they can on the lines of scrimmage.
The success for the Eagles in the past few weeks has been their ability to control that point of attack at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football. The offensive line has played really well. The Eagles have done a great job Alex Thiel, Kevin Espinoza, Danny Lopez, Zane Haas, and Connor Heffernan have really done a good job on the offensive side of the football, controlling that, opening up running lanes, protecting Jackson Seosin. And then on the defensive side, Brandon Hargrove, Tyler Knowles, and Mason Meyer have really gotten after the quarterbacks, caused some throws that quarterbacks didn't really want to have happen. So that's where Georgetown's going to have to be successful today, is at that line of scrimmage.
We're going to step aside and listen to the anthem. We come back, kickoff. Well, we are set to play football here this afternoon between the Georgetown Eagles and the Shadow Creek Sharks. Brad Tillery up here in the booth again with you this week. Rob Hipp unfortunately couldn't be here due to some prior commitments. Kelly DeVoll in the booth, as well as Dave England down on the sidelines. And it will be, we think, a barn burner of a football game this afternoon. Shadow Creek coming in winners last week over Cedar Park. They won the game by a final score of 21-14. Georgetown, of course, beat New Caney right here in Bryan as well a week ago, 35-32 your final score. I mentioned Shadow Creek has won both of their games by one score in the playoffs so far. They beat Porter in the first round with a count of 37-30. Shadow Creek victorious in District 10 as they took the outright district championship, a district that includes Angleton, Foster, and Fort Bend Hightower. Of course, that Angleton team, pretty good, but Foster still standing as we move along. Georgetown, the last team standing in District 11 as well. So this, we think, could be a really good matchup. And if Georgetown wins today, it will be for the Region 3 championship next week, a pair of teams that finished third in their district between Georgetown and Foster. If Georgetown falls today, then Shadow Creek and Foster will have a rematch from a game earlier this year in district play where that game was decided by a single point about, a little over a month or so ago. So a lot of things up in the air right now. Of course, we're not even going to worry about potential of where things will play next week right now or anything like that. We got 48 minutes of football to decide who's going to move on. Looks like Georgetown has won the toss, I believe, and deferred. So Shadow Creek will choose to kick right to left and take the wind in the second quarter. Shadow Creek will receive the kickoff, and we will get set to play football here this afternoon.
Brad, I want to recognize the captains for Georgetown today. Representing Georgetown at the coin toss, number 55, Zane Haas, number 12, Jackson Seosin, number 90, Tyler Knowles, and number 25, Jonathan Neisch.
We also want to take a second, folks, and recognize the good folks here at Bryan ISD for all of their help getting us everything we need here in the booth. The last 2 weeks, especially here, have just been fantastic. Literally, hey, guys, we need something to email you and print out for us. Can you do that? Yep, absolutely. Making sure we had our spot in our booth. Literally anything we could possibly need. The great folks here at Bryan ISD have taken care of us, so just wanted to give them a special thank you before we get going. Shadow Creek taking the field. They will receive the kickoff. Georgetown about to take the field as well, and we are getting set to play football. Sorry if you hear a little scratching on occasion, folks. That is our field mic. Our field mic. It is unfortunately just the way it goes with technology on occasion. So Shadow Creek will receive. Georgetown set to kick off. Matt Diaz to do the honors for Georgetown. Typically go with that angled short kickoff. Diaz with the right hand in the air, lines up on it, and we are underway here this afternoon in round 3. Fair catch called for and made at the 36-yard line by Jared Jackson of Shadow Creek, and the Sharks will take the football on the near hash mark to start the game, moving right to left. Shadow Creek coming in 5th ranked in the state here in the playoffs, undefeated at 12-0 in their first ever season in UIL competition out of Pearland, Texas. This school only been around for 3 years now.
Yeah, but they've got some talent, like we said. Some of these kids would have been at Manville had Shadow Creek not come into existence, but they've started off with a really good football team.
Jamarian George at quarterback. He lines up in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers to work with. Hands off, bobbled the handoff, but still gets up the middle across the 40 to about the 44-yard line. Goes Marquez Hewlin. Hewlin with over 1,100 yards rushing this season. And he picks up a gain of 7 to start the ball game here this afternoon.
You see right off the bat the left side of that line for the Sharks really moving people off the ball, which is what they've done all season.
George takes the handoff, or takes the snap rather, fires out to the right side. Finds a man across the 40 to the 45, makes a man miss across the 50. Inside Georgetown territory, Keelan Jackson on the reception. A gain of about 10 on the play, and quickly after 2 plays, Shadow Creek moving fast into Georgetown territory.
You can tell that this defense is fully aware of the quarterback, the running back, and that one receiver that they've got out there that's really made a difference for them.
This one a carry to the right side, and Georgetown will give 5. Shadow Creek moves the ball down to the 42 of Georgetown. Again, Marquez Hewlin, the running back. Hewlin, I mentioned him with 1,100-plus yards on the season. He averages over 100 yards a game from scrimmage. Here he takes another handoff out of the pistol. In the backfield, he is met, and he's able to get across the 40 to about the 39-yard line, bringing up 3rd and roughly 2.
Georgetown is really going to have to tackle well today because Hewlin has that ability to avoid tackles, so they're going to have to be really disciplined in their tackles, and they're really sound in their gaps on the defense.
3rd and 2 for Shadow Creek. They get out to fast starts. They have the last few weeks here. And timeout called.
Flag.
Didn't see the flag come down.
Delay a game, I believe.
Georgetown players are excited about that. I don't believe it's delay a game. I think it's possibly a false start.
Well, that'll bring up 3rd and 7 now for Shadow Creek, backing them up. They had 16 penalties last week, did the Shadow Creek Sharks.
Those penalties are just drive killers. And right there, they had 3rd and short. Now they're facing 3rd and long.
3rd and 7, 3 wide receiver set. Back to pass, looking left. Now scrambling out of the pocket goes George. Across the 45, stands up at the 38, spun down there, and he's going to be about 1.5 yards short of the first down marker. Made a couple of men miss, but couldn't get all the way there.
It's what we were talking about a little bit earlier. Georgetown's going to have to make those tackles whenever they get that first contact back there. George was able to shake a couple of them and got close to the first down, but they're facing a 4th and short now, and looks like they're lining up to go for it.
Now, this is going to be go time for Shadow Creek here on 4th and about 1.5 yards. George has Hewlin in the backfield with him. He'll hand it off to Hewlin straight over the left side, and he'll bulldoze ahead to the 35. That's enough for a first down. They went right behind the big offensive lineman, Cameron Johnson.
Johnson moved his guy off the ball, and Georgetown did a good job of filling the gaps, but whenever one of those gaps is created because your defenders disappeared behind that gigantic number 77, not much you can do.
Hand off again. Nope, fake it. George flaring out to the right side. Got a man at the 35. Makes a man miss across the 30 to the 25 down the sideline. Flag comes down as well. He's tripped out of bounds at the 20. We'll wait to see what the penalty marker is.
I think number 19 out there for the Sharks, Carlton Guidry, may have grabbed the jersey of the cornerback. I don't know if that's what they called or not.
Wait for the official word here. Nobody's moving backwards yet. You're a good call. Number 19, holding on the offense. Eagle Eye Kelly up here.
Get one right every once in a while. You could see his jersey separate with those white jerseys, boys. Really, those jerseys are really bright in the sunlight. And as silly as it sounds, that pool on that jersey was really obvious even from this distance.
Well, the penalty was far enough down the line. It's going to be 1st and 8 here. Handoff on a sweep around the left side across the 25. Got a couple of blocks at the 20. Cuts back inside at the 15. Taken down there was Ashton O'Connor. Fumble late in the process.
He's down.
I was going to say, I thought he was down there, bud.
Yeah, this side judge was calling him down right away.
Sorry about that.
Dave, you excited, man?
Yeah.
Dave's amped up today. You can't tell, folks.
We've got to be able to tackle in space today. That's a big deal.
And you can see Shadow Creek's really trying to go around the left side behind Cameron Johnson. We'll talk about him a little more. Faking the sweep, handoff up the middle to Hewlin. And over behind that left tackle again, a pickup of 3. Cameron Johnson being recruited by a couple of Power 5 schools right now. As I know he's getting recruited by Texas Tech in Colorado, at least.
Taylor Beal had a really good stop on that play. Met him, and he didn't move another yard.
That's what I was going to say, Dave, because with the way the Georgetown defense runs this 3-3 stack, those linebackers have to fill those gaps.
2nd down, 7 to go. Looking left, firing left as George got a man. It's dropped at the 5-yard line. Ball thrown a little bit behind Keelan Jackson, and that brings up 3rd down.
Georgetown's going to have to get some pressure on those quick plays. They play so far off of the receivers, they're worried about that speed that the Sharks have on their offense. So those passes may be kind of easy for the Sharks today.
8:33 to go, first quarter, first drive of the game as the Sharks are in the red zone. 3rd and 7. George looking back, got plenty of time in the pocket. Now steps up, trying to escape. Mason Meyer there to take him down in the backfield. Drops him for a loss of 2, and that'll bring up 4th and long for Shadow Creek.
Big play by Mason Meyer, staying on that block. Damian Jackson, number 75 for Shadow Creek, had a good block on him, but Mason kept fighting, kept pushing, was able to spin out of the block and made a great play, and now looks like a field goal try instead of that touchdown.
Well, this is no gimme field goal into the wind, a 32-yarder, but the wind blowing hard down left to right, and they're moving the opposite direction.
Watching in warm-ups with the wind at his back, he was able to get it from the 30, and that's about it.
Greg Easy-Chikwu kicks it up, high end over end, floating right. That is wide right, and Georgetown will hold on the opening drive.
That wind just absolutely pushed that ball. It started off right down the middle, and that wind just shoved that ball off to the right. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you're good.
The flags are at half staff for the death of President George H.W. Bush, but man, that wind is really pushing this way. So that's probably going to set up something later on in the game.
There was a game years and years ago between Mississippi State and Ole Miss where the game-winning kick for Mississippi State was getting kicked. It was only about 23 yards, and the ball got pushed backwards because the wind was blowing so hard. It reminded me of that just now.
Yeah, it did. You could see the ball got halfway and just pushed up and out to the right.
Jackson Siosin leads his offense on the field, hands off to Torres over the right side. He's tripped up at the 20. Gain of about a yard for Xavier Torres, and that'll bring up 2nd down for Georgetown.
Big hit by the linebacker that came up and filled that gap and took him off his feet. Boy, that was a sure tackle. If you wind up with your feet over your head at any point in the day, that's a bad day.
Good contingent of Georgetown fans making the trip over as they are across the field from where we sit. 5 wide receivers set for Georgetown here. Siosin with an empty backfield. Fires to the near side, got Torres, caught, catches a block, but only picks up about 3. Corey Coleman trying to throw a block there to spring Torres. If he could have, might have had a chance to go a long way because there was nobody back there to stop him.
Yeah, Corey made a good block out there, but there were 2 other defenders back there with the way that the Sharks run their defense. They're actually running something that on paper looks like 3 down linemen, but a lot of times those outside linebackers come up and you've got almost 5 down linemen to deal with.
3rd and 7 here. Torres stays in the backfield. Siosin with 2 receivers to his left. Snap back, rolling left, firing, and over the head of Dylan Cahill. And Georgetown will go 3 and out on their first drive with 6 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the first quarter.
A little too much on that. The wind out of the west, the wind took that ball and sailed just a little bit there.
You see the speed of the Shadow Creek defense. Then Siosin threw that ball a little bit sooner than he wanted to. Wasn't able to get his feet set and get something underneath that ball. But they've got a lot of speed, so Georgetown's got their hands full.
Elijah Clough will stand back to punt it away for Georgetown. Snap back and whistle blown. That one blown dead, and it'll be movement against Georgetown, so they'll be backed up 5 yards.
Number 37, 5-yard penalty, replay 4th down.
No score, 6:26 to go in the opening frame. Round 3 of the Texas 5A Division I playoffs being played here in Bryan, Texas this afternoon. Georgetown taking on the number 5 ranked Shadow Creek Sharks. Shadow Creek with a nice drive, their opening drive, but a missed field goal. Georgetown goes 3 and out and ready to punt it away here after that 5-yard penalty. Kicking with the win are the Eagles. Clough with a high snap, pulls it down, kicks it away. Nice little kick that'll bounce at the 47 of Shadow Creek and will give a nice Georgetown roll. That ball is going to go all the way out to the 33-yard line. So that should be about a 45-yard punt for Elijah Clough in Georgetown.
That's how you change some of the field position. While we've got a break, folks, don't miss the UIL State Championships on December 20th through 23rd at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Tickets are available to purchase now through Ticketmaster. For more information, visit uiltexas.org.
Also, the Oak Ridge Disciple House is a nonprofit faith-based Christian character-building ministry helping men 18 or older overcome drug and alcohol addiction. If you or someone you know is suffering from addiction, visit Oak Ridge Disciple House online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. First and 10 here for Shadow Creek from their own 33. Handoff to the left side. Marquez Hewlin cuts it back up the middle. He is met by a host of Georgetown Eagles. Short gain of about 2 to the 35. Brings up 2nd and 8.
Boy, that was, I think.
Mason Meyer did a great job of shedding his tackle and being able to get there and plug that hole.
Yeah, Mason was on that big number 77 that we talked about already, but he shed that block and was able to shut that down. That was a great job by Mason.
Handoff again to Hewlin. Being chased down in the backfield, and he escapes 2 defenders across the 35. He'll pick up 3 before he's finally taken down. Oh, man, Colby Cummings had a shot at him for a tackle for loss.
That was one of those opportunities where Georgetown had a chance to shut this down, and they were unable to make that tackle back there. Good penetration on that defensive side of the football, but, man, you got to make those tackles.
3rd and 5 here. Jamarian George in the shotgun, fakes the handoff, throws near sides, got a man caught across the 40 to the 45 and spun out at the 46-yard line. Enough for a first down by Carlton Guidry, the wide receiver. And the chains will move for Shadow Creek.
Georgetown's playing so far off of those receivers right now that little swing pass out there, as long as one of the receivers makes his block, you're playing man on man out there, and it's difficult to win that battle sometimes.
Handoff to the left side, being chased down by Meyer. He breaks a couple of tackles, does Hewlin, dancing down the sideline on the near side, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 41 into Georgetown territory. It's a first down for Shadow Creek.
That's not a tackle that Mason misses often. Boy, he grabbed him around the shoulders, but just some strength back there by that running back able to shake Mason off because Mason's a big kid.
Well, 1st and 10, Shadow Creek. Hewlin will fake it. George throwing to the near side. Got a man caught at the 35. That was Carlton Guidry again. It looked like a hold maybe on the near side there.
He had the cornerback wrapped around the waist from behind, right in front of the line judge, and I don't see how a flag didn't get thrown on that play.
Pickup of 7 on the play brings up 2nd and 3 for Shadow Creek from the Georgetown 34. 5:05 to go in the opening quarter. Georgetown defensive line will shift. And in doing so, it looks like they got Cameron Johnson to jump off sides.
That's the second time they've been able to do that with that shift, and Georgetown uses that shift a lot for that reason, not only to move over to the strong side, but to get one of those linemen to jump every once in a while. It's worked twice today so far.
Kelly and Brad, you don't think there's some nerves? This is the first time this program has ever been to Division III, Round 3 playoffs.
Yeah, you got to think that, first time they've been in this situation. A lot of these kids, like Kelly said, though, played at Manville, so it's an interesting dynamic for Shadow Creek. Handoff to Hewlin out of the pistol. Moving over to his right, shakes and bakes a couple of men, spins out of a tackle across the 30 down to the 28-yard line. Gain of about 11 on the play, first down for Shadow Creek, and that was an impressive run.
You feel like we talked about the fundamentals, and Georgetown is missing way too many tackles right now. They have got to wrap up those ball carriers. Not saying they're not difficult to tackle, but they've had legitimate shots at putting them on the ground early in the runs.
George pitches it to the left side to Hewlin. A lot of room to run across the 25 to the 20, flag down at the 15, 10, 5, touchdown Shadow Creek, but this one's probably coming back.
It's that same, if they call it, it's that same receiver, number 1 for the Sharks, Keelan Jackson out there. He has grabbed those defenders twice now that I've seen, and I think they got him on this one too. Different one. Carlton Guidry.
Is that the same one that got called for holding a little while ago?
Yes.
It's the one that got missed, too, on the other play a minute ago as well. 10-yard penalty will back them up. This should be first down and from where the spot of the foul was. 17 now for Shadow Creek from their own 35. 3 wide receivers set. Faking the handoff. George goes to the far side on the screen play. Got a man across the 30 to the 25 before he's pushed out of bounds. Keelan Jackson on the reception. A pickup of 10 will bring up 2nd and 7.
The receivers for Shadow Creek, I guess, are doing a good job on their blocks out there. You got a coach in one of the referees' ear hole right now. It just looks to me from up here like they're holding on every play. Right then, it seemed like one of the Georgetown cornerbacks got tackled over there on that sideline.
One of the Sharks players is down, and while we have a minute, we want to thank a few of our sponsors. Minutemen Press of Georgetown, design, printing, and promotional products. Minutemen Press of Georgetown is the place to go for all your marketing products and services. Visit them online at mmptx.com.
We also want to thank Lofts on Rock Street. Lofts on Rock Street is Georgetown's newest condo community featuring minimalist living with 1- and 2-bedroom condos, ranging from $250,000 to $360,000 with a rooftop deck, 360-degree views of Georgetown. Brought to you by Annette Montgomery and Kimberly Wolfman of Century 21. Visit loftsonrock.com for more information.
Also want to thank our friends at Cabot Richmond Homes. Cabot Richmond Homes has been building in Georgetown for over 20 years, specializing in custom homes on 1 acre and larger lots. Visit CabotRichmondHomes.com. That's CAVITT RichmondHomes.com.
Georgetown Jewelry is a proud sponsor of Georgetown Eagle football on SHN Sports. Visit them online at GeorgetownJewelry.com or in person in the Williamsburg Village Shopping Center in Georgetown.
Well, Keelan Jackson is the injured receiver for the Sharks. He will slowly meander his way across the field, and now we're back underway. 2nd and 7 for Shadow Creek from the Georgetown 25. Pitch on the sweep, coming near side, across the 20 to the 15 before being tripped up inside the 15. Ashton O'Connor, the senior, coming around the end. On the end-around play, actually, and a pickup of 12 brings up a first down for Shadow Creek.
O'Connor's 5'8", 155, and fast.
And this whole Shadow Creek team, their skill receivers are very, very quick.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed on this team.
Lining up in the backfield now, Isaiah Harper behind Jamarian George. They will hand it off to Harper. Big running back going over the left side, picks up a block before being taken down at the 6. And my goodness, did you see Caleb Leonard just bulldozing out there in front of Harper?
Stood up by number 29. Number 29 for Georgetown met him and stood him up, took him off his cleats.
Yeah, Noah Thompson came in there low. We talked about it a bunch this season, that low man wins, and boy, he came in there and just stopped that.
2nd and 3. Harper again up the middle, and this time he will be spun down in the backfield. Nice play there by Georgetown's big number 90, Tyler Knowles, to shut that play down, bringing up 3rd down and 3.
Tyler did a great job back there because the back's a little bit quicker than Tyler is, but Tyler didn't buy the fake that the back tried to put on, grabbed him up around the top of his body and spun him to the ground. Great tackle by Tyler. Georgetown's getting some penetration against that offensive line that Shadow Creek has.
Well, you mentioned it during the pregame. You saw a couple of Shadow Creek coaches go, you guys are fast, and they said back to you, you guys are big.
They're big.
It's 3rd down, 3 to go, rolling right. George, he's got room if he wants to take it himself. He will tuck it and run. He is in for the touchdown. Shadow Creek on the board first. A 5-yard touchdown scamper by the quarterback, Jamarian George, with 2:42 to go in the opening quarter.
That's what you have trouble with whenever you're going against an offense like Shadow Creek's is they had great coverage in the secondary on the receivers, but that left that opening out there. And at this point in the field, you've got to wait until he absolutely commits past the line of scrimmage, and that time Shadow Creek won the battle.
Extra point is up, and this time it is true. And your score with 2:42 to go here in the opening frame, Shadow Creek draws first blood, 7-0 your score. Thank a few more of our sponsors while we got a minute. J. Warren Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For all of your home buying or selling needs, trust the best in Central Texas. J. Warren Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Texas Realty. Visit jwarrenrealtor.com.
TKM Telecom and Excavation Directional Drilling. TKM specializes in directional drilling, offering a multitude of construction services and specializing in directional drilling and bores, including road bores. Check them out on Facebook at TKM Telecom and Excavation.
Stone Deck specializes in concrete pavers, retaining walls, water features, steps, pools, pool decks, patios, walkways, driveways, fire pits, outdoor living, and more. For all your outdoor needs, visit StoneDeckTexas.com. Proud supporter of Georgetown Eagle football.
Shelly Rodiker in Fairway Independent Mortgage. She's the loan officer in Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 1438623, located at 714 South Austin Avenue, Suite 210 in Georgetown. Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, national strength with hometown service, equal housing lender.
Greg Izachikwu will kick it off right to left for Shadow Creek. They lead it 7-0 over Georgetown with 2 minutes and 42 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. And the ball has been blown off the tee, so we will have to retry it here.
Watching them in warm-ups, watch for a kind of a squid kick on this young man.
Shadow Creek scores on their second possession of the ball game. Georgetown about to touch it for the second time. They went 3 and out on their first possession, did the Eagles. Izachikwu running up on it, and it will be a low line drive kick. Bouncing at the 5, fielded inside the 5 by Torres, Xavier Torres at the 10, and a flag comes down. He's tackled at the 15, and this is going to back Georgetown up even further.
Block at the back's what the call is going to be. Number 30, John Miranda, came down, and his guy was behind him. I don't think he intentionally tried to block him in the back, but the defender on the kick started slowing up to see which way the returner was going to go, and Miranda ran right into his back, and that's our call.
Good call. Block in the back is the official decision. Half the distance to the goal. Georgetown will take over inside their own 10. They'll officially spot it at the 6. Well, Georgetown taking the field for the second time on offense. As Siosin leads the offense back out there, moving left to right.
Yeah, you probably heard Coach Dean screaming at him, go, 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 but they hadn't set the play clock yet, so we're in good shape.
2 backs in the backfield with Siosin, 2 receivers in the set as well. Torres goes out of the backfield in motion. Handoff, fake to Marino. Ball is fumbled inside the 5, recovered, and they're going to say it's an incomplete pass that Siosin's arm was coming forward, and that's a huge break for Georgetown. There's also a flag down on the play.
I think I'm glad we don't have replay in high school football yet.
I'm with you because I thought that ball was out.
Yeah, I did too. Dave?
Wouldn't have mattered. Offsides.
It looked like his arm was moving forward to me.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered. Georgetown the beneficiary of an offside call. So that explains why they got in the backfield so fast.
Yeah. Get an early start.
First and 5. Georgetown now from their own 11. 2 wide receivers rather, split backs as well for Siosin. There goes Torres again to the far side out of the backfield. This time a handoff to Marino. Got room over the right side, and he is chopped down at the 14. Man, he had room, it appeared, but a good play there by Ronald Nunnery Jr., the Houston commit, to chop him down before he could really get going.
He came flying over to make that tackle. RJ's a difficult back to tackle, but the Sharks defender did a good job going low and taking him off his feet.
RJ stays in the backfield behind Siosin. Turn around, hand off to Marino. Trying to get over the right side again, excuse me. He'll pick up about 3 on the play. That was Torres, my apologies. I didn't see the number right. It's a first down for the Eagles. Their first time moving the chains today. 1:56 to go in the first quarter.
So, Kelly, if our lines are able to, if our defensive line is able to make their the Sharks' offensive line jump, you've got to think that Siosin's hard count might work against this D-line for Shadow Creek.
Yeah, these guys are eager to get off that football, and they get off fast, so he'll probably use that.
3 wide receivers here for Siosin. He's going to fire far side, got a man and threw it behind Cahill, incomplete. Dylan Cahill was open for probably a gain of about 5 or 6 there.
Jackson's really good at hitting his spots, and I think that wind is swirling in here, and it's causing problems. And when you throw the ball out to the sideline like that, you're throwing the ball 30 yards just to get a gain of 3 or 4 yards from where the receiver initially catches the ball. And I think that wind is just going to cause havoc all day in the passing game.
Well, this defensive back group for the Shadow Creek Sharks, very good. All of them being recruited or have committed to Division I schools. Second down, 10 to go. Turnaround handoff this time to Javante Rodan. And a short pickup, if not a loss of half a yard for Rodan.
The Sharks are doing something interesting on defense. I think they're trying to give Jackson some looks, disguise some of their looks, because they're sucking those corners in really close they're almost to the hash marks on this defensive set that they're using, but right before the ball snap, they'll break off and back up into a pass coverage. But now Georgetown's spreading them out, so they've got to change that up.
3rd and 10 for Georgetown. 3 wide receivers stacked to the far side, 1 on the near. Siosin back to pass, looking to that far side, now scrambling out over the right. He's got room across the 15, tucks it away, makes a man miss at the 18, and then he is brought down at the 20. So Jackson Siosin only picks up a couple on the scramble, and Georgetown will have to punt it away again towards the end of the first quarter.
I would imagine the Georgetown coaches are going to have some conversations with their receivers, because when your quarterback leaves the pocket, you got to come back and help him out. And they didn't come back to try to help him out with someplace to throw the ball, but they finally got back to try to get some blocks, but not much success there for Jackson.
Strategy time for Georgetown. You got to hustle up and punt this away while the wind is at your back, because they could have let the clock run out if they wanted to. This time they do get the snap back. Clough kicks it away. Ball bounces inside the 50, keeps bouncing at the 30, now picked up by Shadow Creek. Back across the 40 to the 45 at the 50, and inside Georgetown territory goes Jaqueen Middleton, and that will be the final play of the opening frame, as Shadow Creek has come out and really dominated that opening quarter. They lead at 7-0 over Georgetown.
They have dominated it, and I would imagine the statistics are going to show that, but Georgetown's just a touchdown behind.
Yeah, not a dissimilar situation from last weekend, really.
Right.
You know, Georgetown was down 10-0 after the opening frame and kind of turned it on in the second quarter, so we'll see if they can do it again. I want to thank our friends at Booth This Way. Booth This Way, we make the party. Booth This Way photo booth rentals can make any event, wedding party, or trade show be a success. Visit boofthisway.com for current specials. Again, that's boofthisway.com. Go Eagles from our friends at Booth This Way.
We also want to thank the Oak Ridge Disciple House. They're a nonprofit, faith-based Christian character-building ministry helping men 18 or older overcome drug and alcohol addiction. If you or someone you know is suffering from addiction, visit Oak Ridge Disciple House online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
It'll be 1st and 10, Shadow Creek from, I say he stepped out at his own 46 on the previous play. Little screen pass to the our far side, complete across the 50 to the 45. Got a block at the 40, and a flag comes down late. That was Ashton O'Connor again doing the work, and we'll see what the flag is.
There were 3 holds out there on that left side they could have called, and they called one on the last receiver out there making his block. I guess it's a technique that Shadow Creek teaches their guys to try to keep those arms in, but they're not keeping them in right now, and they're having a difficult time blocking those corners, but they're having a hold.
So 10 yards from the spot of the foul there, and I think that's going to bring it back near the original line of scrimmage. Sorry again about the static, folks. We unfortunately don't really have a crowd mic today, and Dave's mic is what we're having to go off of, and we're a little further away from the field than usual today, so that's going to happen on occasion. 5 wide receiver set, 4 on the near side for Shadow Creek. It is 1st and 9. Again, a pass to O'Connor on the near side. He turns the corner across the 50, across the 45 before he is tackled at the 41. Another first down pickup for Shadow Creek, gain of 12 on the play to Ashton O'Connor.
Jonathan Nice, good solid tackle down there, but not before he gained 12 yards on the play, so they're having some success on the edges.
Shadow Creek's not being forced to make difficult passes. Jamarian George with a 62% completion rate coming into the game. But everything has been within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage so far.
With their speed, it's a pick-your-poison kind of defense. So instead of giving up the big play, the Georgetown's playing off of their receivers some.
4 wide receivers in the set, faking. Now pass to the near side on a screen play. And that will be bottled up, fumble on the ball on the ground, and back on top of it are the Shadow Creek Sharks. Axel Cruz had it knocked out of his hands, and the ball just bounced right back to him. But a loss on the play of 4.
He caught that ball, turned around, and looked at a third of the Georgetown defense. That was a white wall of jerseys, a wall of white jerseys around him. No place to go.
2nd down, 14 to go now for Georgetown, or for Shadow Creek, rather. Georgetown fans trying to get their defense up across the way. 3 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near for Shadow Creek. Rolling to his left, George. He's looking to pass, and it is complete to O'Connor at the 37. Flag down on the play as well. I think that's going to be a late hit on George.
Boy, so many things almost went right for Georgetown on that, and all the things that could have gone right went wrong.
That pass was almost picked off, went right through the hands, or just over the hands, rather. One of the linebackers for Georgetown. Couldn't pick up who it was, but the 15-yard penalty on top of this gain, will move Shadow Creek down pretty deep in Georgetown territory. I think it's going to be marked all the way down at the 21.
Brad, it's penalties like that I think come from some of the frustration of going against athletes that are so quick and elusive that you finally think you've got a shot on him. He gets rid of the ball, and you just don't pull up in time, and that's what we just saw.
Pistol formation, pitch play to Marquez Hewlin coming out to the right side, and he will be hit at the 22 and pick up of about 1 as he gets down to the 21. Nice play by Georgetown to stretch that out.
Taylor Bell, John Miranda, and Big Mason Meyer all got out there to shut that down with just a short gain. Great play by the defense. And the defense is having some success. They just had given up 1.5 really long drives to Shadow Creek.
Shadow Creek moving left to right now. Here's second down. Handoff to Hewlett up the middle. He busts through the hole, and he has got enough for a first down to the 11-yard line. Gain of 12 on the play.
Shadow Creek's been trying those edges, and now they run right at the teeth of that Georgetown defense and had great run just then, that big offensive line moving guys out of the running lanes.
Staying in the pistol formation, Hewlin again on the handoff over the right side. He's got a hole across the 10. He is hit down at the 5 and officially marked at the 4, so a pickup of 7 for Marquez Hewlin. 3 straight runs for him. Shadow Creek inside the 5 now, looking for their second score of the game with 9:30 to go in the second quarter. Again, the handoff to the right side. Hewlin trying to cut up. Flag comes down. Hewlin is into the end zone for a touchdown, but I believe this is coming back. If it does, it's the second touchdown of the game wiped off the board by a penalty.
Kelly, Brad, I remember last week you were talking about a lot of penalties with that Cedar Park Shadow Creek game. Do y'all recall that?
Yeah, Shadow Creek had 16 penalties for 125 yards last week.
That's another hold. That may be where Shadow Creek's had their success this year, is holding.
This has got to be at least 5 penalties now against Shadow Creek, unofficially.
You know, I don't like to sit in the booth and criticize the kids and question whether or not something should be called or not, but this is blatant in what Shadow Creek's done to this point. They've been called for holding, 3 or 4 times?
And this should be a false start on Shadow Creek. The left guard moved. The entire defensive line for Georgetown came up pointing, and they caught it.
Hats off to the Georgetown Eagle band. They're down here in this end zone and the crowd's making a lot of noise for their hometown Georgetown Eagles.
Penalty will back Shadow Creek up 5 more yards. Ball on the near hash mark. Shadow Creek had this ball at the 4. It is now at the 19. Second down. They can pick up a first if they can get inside the 2. Back to pass George. Looking deep. Now it's trying to scramble up the middle. And he is brought down behind the line of scrimmage at the 20. Taylor Bell coming up with a big play. And that will bring up 3rd and very long.
That was Matt Diaz that shot in there and made that tackle, grabbed him around the ankles. Great tackle.
That was Bell, 37, right?
Yeah, Taylor Bell.
Taylor Bell.
I'm sorry, I thought it was 27.
No, it was 37.
I'm old. I can't see. I need my binoculars.
You got them over there. Use them, my friend.
I know.
This is exactly where Georgetown wants them, 3rd and long, Kelly.
It is 3rd and about 19 or 18 and a half for Shadow Creek. They need basically the 1-yard line to get a first down. And timeout will be called by the Sharks.
You can see some frustration in the Shadow Creek coaching staff at those penalties. And I've said time and time again, we've talked about it over and over again. That's the kind of penalties that shuts your offense down.
Shadow Creek, just making an observation, very, very good, very fast football team. You could tell that from the beginning. But a little sloppy at times, and that could come back to bite you against a very sound football team like Georgetown is.
It can, because Shadow Creek was having a drive that's a demoralizing drive because they have shoved this ball right up the gut of the Georgetown defense. And if you can punch it in and score, well, you start taking away from Georgetown's psyche and desire to play this football game whenever you just outmuscle them. But this gives the Eagles new life, new breath. They're excited now. They're fired up, and that just kills your football team.
So it will be 3rd and 19. Shadow Creek burning their first time out of the half. 8:37 to go in this first half, with the Shadow Creek Sharks leading Georgetown 7-0. 4 wide receivers, and there goes another penalty. Motion against the entire offensive line. And it will be 3rd and 24 as they are backed up again, this time to the 25-yard line.
That shift is just driving Cameron Johnson crazy, and you can see the frustration.
The Georgetown band is grinning from ear to ear because they know they had a part in that.
Yeah.
Well, here we go, in motion to a 4 wide receiver set. George takes the snap, throws deep to the right side, and it will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Shadow Creek.
Wow.
Keelan Jackson comes down with it on a straight go route on 3rd and 24.
Bit of a mismatch out there because you had number 42, Saul De La Rosa for Georgetown, and De La Rosa is only about 5'10", and the receiver had some significant size on him. Quarterback just put it up there and let him go get it. They call it a 50-50 ball, but that was more of a 70-30 ball out there.
He had plenty of separation out there. Extra point on the way. It is good. And your new score with 8:29 to go in the first half. Shadow Creek has opened up a 14-0 lead over the Georgetown Eagles.
Georgetown on this next drive, it is a hugely important drive for Georgetown. They have got to put points on the board. If they can have a bit of a sustained drive, take some of this time off the clock, control this clock a little bit, put some points on the board, and we get the ball coming out after halftime. And, you know, there's 8:29 left in the half, and we're already talking about the importance of that clock. But Georgetown's going to have to keep this Shadow Creek offense off the field, or that defense is really going to start getting tired and worn down.
I'd like to see a little bit of that third quarter against Seguin where we just run the ball, pound the ball, and let our big nasties up front control this.
I want to quickly say happy birthday to Taco Williams playing down there today. It is apparently his birthday. Thanks to Sean Williams for giving us the heads up there. As we are on the live chat, of course, on YouTube with the ball game this afternoon. If you got anything you'd like to say or shout-outs or things like that, send them our way. We'll try to get them in, folks. Of course, we're going to focus on the game primarily, but wherever we can, want to make sure we get some recognitions in.
Happy birthday, Taco.
8:29 to go, second quarter. Shadow Creek leads at 14-0 after a 25-yard touchdown pass from Jamarian George to Keelan Jackson on 3rd and 24. Kick is away. Moving left to right, a line drive kick that'll go into the end zone, a touchback, so Georgetown will take over at the 25.
We're not at any kind of desperation point yet for Georgetown, but they really, really, really have to have a drive. They haven't done much offensively right now. You got to try to put Shadow Creek on their heels on defense, change up some of the stuff that you're doing. So we'll see if they can come out with something that gets back more into the ball control that Georgetown's had some success with in their 2 playoff games.
Just 1 first down so far for the Georgetown offense in 2 possessions. Siosin takes the offense back on the field. He's got Moreno behind him. 2 wide receivers stacked on the near side. Ball on the far hash mark, moving right to left. Turn around, hand off to RJ. Going around the right side, trying to make a man miss. And he will push ahead near the sideline over there to about the 27. So a short pickup of 2. Brings up 2nd and 8.
4 defenders left in the middle of the field. That means you had 7 over there in pursuit of RJ, which doesn't give you a whole lot of success out there. Man, they are just fast. The whole defense is fast.
A little surprising Georgetown's not attacking the middle as much as that with the speed on the outside.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have a lot of success on the edges.
Split backs in the backfield. 3 wide receivers out in the set. Turn around, or pass to the near side, and oh my gosh, ball is out. It will be ruled incomplete on a forward pass. Oh my goodness. That was Andres Langhorn, who was drilled right as he got the ball.
And that's what, Kelly, that's that speed that you're talking about. They read that play, and they were on him as he was catching that ball.
Xavion Alford, number 4 for Shadow Creek, was the defender that came up and just laid the lick on the wide receiver. And, boy, great timing. No targeting in there. It's a good, clean, legal hit, but, boy.
He hit him.
That's a teeth rattler.
He ran right through the chest of Langhorn. It is 3rd and 8 now for Georgetown. Snap back to Siosin. Droughts back looking for a man. Now is trying to scramble out of the pocket, and he is run over for a sack by Warren Schenkel. Middle linebacker came in and literally just lowered his shoulder and ran right through Jackson Siosin.
Schenkel waited to see how that play was going to develop, and whenever he saw an opening and Jackson tried to step up in the pocket, boy, he came flying through there and just laid a big hit on him.
It looked like Jackson was waiting for Cahill to get open, a couple of his wide receivers, and waiting for that play to develop.
Well, Georgetown will punt it away on 4th and 14 here from their own 20. Snap is back. Kick is away from Elijah Clough. Ball floating. It will bounce at the 45. Picked up at the 40 by Keelan Jackson. Across the 50 to the 45, 40. He's got room on the far sideline to the 30 before he is pushed out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Again, though, another flag down back around where Jackson caught the ball. And if history holds, this could be another block in the back here. And that will be the call. Block in the back. Called against Jeremiah Harris for the Shadow Creek Sharks. That's, you talk about hidden yardage. That's hidden yardage of a roughly 45 yards flipping the field there against Shadow Creek.
You're taking away so much of the field whenever you commit those, and it's so frustrating. It's kind of surprising that you see that many blocks in the back, because it's a simple, it sounds relatively simple. If you can't see his face, don't block him, but man, it happens with a great deal of frequency, not only at this level, but all the way up into pro football.
6 minutes, 49 seconds left in the opening half. 14-0, Shadow Creek leads it, and this is a big defensive drive for Georgetown. They've got to get a stop here. Trying to give the offense one more shot. Turn around, handoff. Now faking the handoff. Throwing deep down the middle. He's got a man. It is in and out of the hands of a wide open receiver. That was Jared Jackson, who couldn't come down with the football. He hit him in dead stride to Jamarian George, and had Jackson caught it, he was off to the races.
Georgetown got fortunate just then. A little mistake by Gage Leggett, actually, because he bought an initial response thinking that the pass was going to be shorter, but he didn't give the help over the top on that particular play. Georgetown gets lucky on that one and lives to fight another day.
Second down. Pass out to the near side, caught and taken down at the 37 is Jaquin Middleton. Pickup of 4 on the play, makes it 3rd and 6 now for Shadow Creek.
Gage made up for it on that play. He came from the opposite side of the field, came over, nice sure tackle to keep that to a short gain.
You know, earlier we were talking about how far Georgetown's playing off the receivers, and you just saw why on that deep pass down the middle.
Yep, that speed kills, and Georgetown's aware of it. You give up some big plays over the middle and short of the defensive backs, but you try not to give up that home run ball.
Snap here on 3rd down. Throw down the middle again. Incomplete over the head of Jaquin Middleton, the intended receiver, down the seam, and ball was thrown over him by about a good 5 or 6 yards. Brings up 4th and 6.
That was a big stop for Georgetown defense right there, gentlemen. Y'all talked about that when Shadow Creek got the ball.
That is a big play, and for Georgetown to hold them there, they got plenty of time to try to move down and score, but that offense has to start producing in the way that we've been used to seeing them produce in the past 4 games, actually.
Still 6:02 to go in the first half. Shadow Creek leads 14-0. They're punting it away here to Georgetown for the first time. Snap back, punt is away. High end-over-end kick. Fair catch called for and made at the 20 by Cade Lachlan. So Georgetown will take it over in their own territory once again. And tell you what, the Eagles got to get something going. Only 1 first down so far on 3 drives so far.
We want to thank Minuteman Press, another one of our sponsors. Design, printing, and promotional products. Minuteman Press of Georgetown is the place to go for all your marketing products and services. Visit them online at mmpptx.com.
Georgetown taking the field here, trying to get something going on offense. Shadow Creek defenders, especially on the DBs, playing really far up on the receivers. Handoff straight up the middle and stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a short gain of 1. R.J. Marino just couldn't get anything there.
They haven't had much success, but that's where Georgetown, if they'll continue to pound that middle, I think they can do some work in there with as hot as it's going to be on that field. Those black uniforms maybe start wearing down these Shadow Creek defenders and start having some more success right in the teeth.
Well, 2nd down and 9 to go, and Jackson Seosin's hard count gets the defensive line to jump off sides.
Yeah, Kelly, you're exactly right. It's getting a little warm down here. Emily was putting on her sunscreen a little while ago, but it is. You're glad the Eagles were wearing white jerseys today. A little cooler.
Well, penalty for 5 yards against Shadow Creek on the offsides makes it 2nd and 5. That's got to be unofficially 7 or 8 penalties now against Shadow Creek. I got to find out the numbers at the half because there's a bunch.
There are.
2nd and 5 here. And he just jumped again. The near side defender, number 5, Jevin Murray, the North Texas commit, actually reached across and touched Corey Coleman before the ball was ever snapped.
That's Kelly. That's really man defense right there. That's
what I don't
up close and personal when you touch him before he snaps the ball.
Yeah, I don't even know what he was doing because he reached across the line and put his hand on the shoulder of the Georgetown wide receiver. And, man, he hasn't come any closer to this Shadow Creek sideline because there's a coach that's in really good shape that I don't think he wants any part of right now.
No.
2 penalties gives Georgetown their 2nd first down of the ball game. So 1st and 10, Georgetown from their own 31. 5:12 to go in the 2nd quarter.
Fundamental football.
Snap back. Fakes our handoff rather to Rodan. He cuts it back up the middle, and he is cut down for a loss of 1. Cayman St. Junius coming in with the tackle. Make it 2nd and 11.
Shadow Creek tackles really, really well. They haven't missed many, if any, tackles at all. They're so sound in their tackling.
They're fundamentally sound everywhere except penalties from what I can see right now.
Yes.
Tight formation for Georgetown here. 2 receivers, both on the near side. Moving right to left. 2nd and 11 for the Eagles. Snap back, faking the handoff, rolling near side, caught at the 30 to the 35, and a pickup of about 6 out to the 36-yard line for Dylan Cahill. Will make it 3rd and manageable now. 5 yards left to go for Georgetown.
I was thinking earlier that's what Georgetown needs to do, those quick hitters, because with the speed that's on Shadow Creek's defense, they're not going to have time for those long pass routes to develop and give Seosin the time he needs. So the only way you loosen that up is with those short passes like that, and they ought to keep that up.
5 wide receivers in the set this time for Georgetown. 4 on the far side, 1 on the near. Isaiah Fillmore down by his lonesome here on the near sideline. Seosin takes the snap, looking right, being chased in the pocket, and gets out of 1 tackle. Now tucks it away across the 30, makes another man miss to the 35, cuts it to the 40. 45 for Seosin, runs over a defender, and down to the 50-yard line, Jackson Seosin. Woo-hoo, what a play by the quarterback, a pickup of 14, and that'll put a charge into the sideline for Georgetown.
Such a strong run by Jackson, and then he comes up and he lowers his shoulders, and he let Courtney Brown know, number 14 for Shadow Creek, he let Courtney Brown know he wasn't afraid. And then Courtney was standing there kind of shocked, and he came up and got drilled by Georgetown linemen, so that poor guy paid on that down.
Officially the ball at Georgetown's 49, 1st and 10. Seosin hands it off, line up the middle to R.J. Marino, and he runs over a defender to the 48 of Shadow Creek. First time that Georgetown has penetrated Shark territory.
That is classic R.J. Marino run right there, where he runs right at the defender and knocks him on his back.
Yeah, this is the offense that we're used to seeing the past couple of weeks, and I think this is exactly where they need to keep attacking. Just keep running that ball, short passes, and now you got some Shadow Creek defenders starting to put their hands on their hips.
2:30 to go in the first half. Georgetown trying to get some points before halftime, down a couple of scores. Seosin with 2 receivers to the near side. Snaps it, takes the handoff right up the middle, pushing forward. That appears to be Xavier Torres, I believe.
Yes.
It is. Short pickup of about 2 for Xavier. Bring up 3rd and 5.
He was being very patient, waiting for his blocking to open up there.
Tell you what, going back to that run by Cahill, the thing that I think, we got excited about the hit that he laid on the defender, getting out of the tackle, because that was a sack waiting to happen in the backfield.
Yeah, he's strong. He's a lot stronger than that narrow-looking frame shows, but that was a good, strong run all the way around.
3rd and 5 here, and timeout called by Shadow Creek. Their second one of the first half that they've used. Georgetown still with their full complement of timeouts, so really don't have to be in a rush with 1:49 to go. Down 14-0 here in the first half.
They are capable of scoring quickly, even from just over midfield where they're at now, but they got to keep this drive going. This is big.
I want to thank our friends at the Lofts on Rock Street. Lofts on Rock Street is Georgetown's newest condo community, featuring minimalist living with 1- and 2-bedroom condos that range from $250,000 to $360,000. With a rooftop deck and 360-degree views of Georgetown, go check out Lofts on Rock Street. They're brought to you by Annette Montgomery and Kimberly Wolfman of Century 21. Visit loftsonrock.com for more information.
Cabot Richmond Homes has been building in Georgetown for over 20 years, specializing in custom homes on 1 acre and larger lots. Visit CabotRichmond.com. That's CAVITT, RichmondHomes.com.
3rd and 5 for Georgetown from the Shadow Creek 46. Furthest Georgetown's been down the field all day so far. Big third down play with under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Seosin snaps it. Defense almost moved again. There's a throw to the near sideline. Caught at the 41.5. We'll see where they mark it if it's enough for a first down. Cahill, the receiver there on the short pass, rolling sideline. And this is all going to depend on the spot.
I think he's a little short.
That's going to be about 4th and half a yard for Georgetown. And this is a must-go situation.
RJ's in there.
You think traditionally sometimes Georgetown might try to pooch kick it, but down 2 scores, you got to get some points before the half.
But you also don't want to give the ball back because Shadow Creek has scored in 1 or 2 plays.
Cahill, Shadow Creek really creeping up on the line of scrimmage. Cahill fakes the handoff, fakes it right up the middle. He's got room. He's across the 40. It's a first down for Georgetown. Pickup of 4 on the play.
This is a nice drive by Georgetown. If they can keep it going, get those points we talked about, we'll get the ball in the second half. But well-designed series on this play calling by the Georgetown coaches.
Georgetown got the ball back with about, I think, 6 minutes to go or so. Now we're at 1:25. Really trying to milk the clock down and score before the half. They still have all 3 timeouts, do the Eagles. Seosin calls for the snap. Fakes the handoff, now throws across the middle. It is picked off. Going across the 35, now to the 40. 45 and to the 50 before he steps out of bounds. Number 13, Ronald Nunnery Jr., the Houston commit, with the interception, and Seosin never saw it.
He was looking for Dylan Cahill, who was streaking over the middle, but the defender for Shadow Creek stayed home, watched Jackson's eyes, and just stepped right in front of that. Jackson never saw him out there. That's a backbreaker.
Good news is our defense got a time to sit on the sideline, and they actually got up off the bench. They were well rested now.
Ball placed at midfield. Shadow Creek's by far quick enough to put this one in the end zone or score some points here with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go. They got plenty of speed and quick strike ability. Defense going to have to step up and try to keep this a 2-score game before the half. Handoff over the near side to Isaiah Harper. He's got room across the 45 to the 40, and he is taken down. Fumble, ball is out. Georgetown looks like they've recovered. I don't see a mark either way, but the bag came out, like the ball was out.
Oh, they're saying he was down. You got to be kidding me.
The lineman threw his marker down, like that ball was out. Instead, they're calling it a first down for Shadow Creek, and he was down apparently.
Boy, that ball popped loose on first contact. Oh, man. Goodness.
Whew, call goes against Georgetown there. First and 10, Shadow Creek now from the Georgetown 36 with 58 seconds to go. Faking the handoff on the sweep, now looking to pass. Goes deep down the right sideline. It is caught, but that won't count. Number 22, Marquez Hewlin, the running back, makes the catch, but he was out of bounds, and then the first man to touch it coming back in, so that was going to come back.
That should be a penalty for an illegal touch.
Yeah. Yeah, the hat was thrown, which is the marker when you have an illegal touching, so.
Yeah, now the determination is, did he go out on his own or was he forced out? I think he ran out on his own.
Well, it was good bump coverage coming out of there.
I don't think there was any contact until after he went out of bounds. And that's what the referees are talking about right now.
Well, we'll see. The entire Shadow Creek offense is circling around me. They're going to pull this against Georgetown and say he was bopped off or pushed out of bounds. It's going to be a completed pass. And now Georgetown is pushed back up against their own goal line. Well, they're saying the receiver was pushed out of bounds and reestablished in time to make the catch, so it'll be good for Marquez Hewland on the reception. A gain of about 28 on the play. First and goal now for Shadow Creek with 48 seconds to go from the Georgetown 6.
None of those calls. This is big here.
Four receivers now going across the formation is Greg Hancock. Rolling left, George. Stopping, keeps scrambling. Out to the 6, being chased by a couple of Eagles. Coming back towards the pocket. Throws a lofty shot down to the near sideline. It is caught but out of bounds. Carlton Guidry couldn't keep his feet in bounds, but he was open after a lot of scrambling there from Jamarian George.
He just lofted that ball in the air and knew his receiver would get there. Just the question was whether or not it was going to be too far, and it's just too far out of bounds.
The Georgetown defense really stayed at home on that. When the defensive back saw that he was out scrambling, they were able to cover that.
Georgetown, you feel, has got to hold them to 3 here going into the half. 14-0, Shadow Creek leads it. 37 seconds to go. 4 wide receivers set from the Georgetown 6. Snap back, looking near side, now throws across the middle. Got a man. It was off the hands of a wide open Carlton Guidry. Georgetown catches a break, and here comes third goal.
A lot of confusion in that secondary. Elijah Clough was the one that should have been covering him, but I think he was expecting somebody else to come back and give him some help in the middle and over the top, and it wasn't there. He was wide open, just they weren't able to complete that pass. Goodness.
Not a defender within about 7 yards of Guidry there. Here comes third and goal. Looking right, now left, scrambling up the middle, George. He's across the 5. He's tackled inside. Fumble, ball's out, picked up by Georgetown. Back across the 5 to the 10, 15, and Georgetown will get the hold and the turnover. A big one with 20 seconds to go here in the first half. Who is that coming up with the football? Nick Petter on the recovery. I thought he was down.
I did too, and I think this back judge thought he was too. He may be coming up. No,
they're marking this.
I thought he was down on that one, but
well,
we'll take it.
That's a big play in this football game. Woo. He would have been down with George before the goal line. It would not have been a touchdown.
Right.
But that takes points off the board. It would be a field goal or a touchdown.
I think Georgetown's going to take a knee and try to get out of here.
That's exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
The Eagles get the ball first in the second half. Remember, last week Cedar Park was down 14-0 at the half to this Shadow Creek team. And that game was a 14-all game going into the fourth quarter.
Kelly, there's times where our red zone defense really does a great job for the Eagles.
So Georgetown will take the knee, and that will be the end of the first half. Your score after one half of play here in Bryan, the Shadow Creek Sharks 14 and the Georgetown Eagles nothing, as Shadow Creek has been able to get a touchdown in each of the first 2 quarters. Well, we're going to step aside for a second, let you hear from some of our sponsors. When we come back, we have actually an interview with Karen Crosby, the mother of Mason Crosby, the Georgetown Eagle great and kicker for the Green Bay Packers. And then later on as well, we have a special guest coming up here in the booth that we'll surprise you with. So stick around here at the half. 14-0. Shadow Creek leads Georgetown here on SHN Sports.
For Christmas, Santa Phil will attend birthday parties. Call your child on or before Christmas to remind them that Santa is watching. Receive and reply to wish letters. Take Christmas card photos. Receive and reply to wish emails. Help with special promotions and assist in advertising campaigns. Be sure to visit Santa at the Georgetown Christmas Stroll this Saturday in Georgetown. Visit your-santa.com for more information. That's your-santa.com. Merry Christmas from Santa Phil.
Joining our SHN broadcast today at halftime is Karen Crosby, founder of The Locker. We appreciate Karen joining in. Hi, Karen. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. Karen is actually on the phone with us from Green Bay, up there with her son Mason, kicker for the Green Bay Packers, former Georgetown Eagle. So, Karen, we got you on today so we could talk a little bit about the locker. But before that, all the Georgetown fans know that you are Mason Crosby's mom. Mason was a Georgetown Eagle and a Colorado Buffalo, and now one of not only the best kickers in the league now, but in history. So tell us a little bit about having a son in that position in the NFL.
It's really amazing. I think a lot about how he got here and the dream of a little kid in Georgetown, Texas, dreaming of being in the NFL one day, and by golly, he made it and had such support from all of his coaches and everyone there in Georgetown to help his dream come true. And he keeps his roots really strong in Georgetown. He lives in Green Bay and loves it here and loves being a Packer, but he still calls Georgetown, Texas home. And, every time he runs through that tunnel, I still get really emotional, and like I always have since the days when he ran out for the first time at the old middle school there in Georgetown. It hasn't changed for me. I still feel the same way, and just my little boy running out and with his teammates, and it's been really a great ride for us. I can't believe he's been in the NFL for 12 years now.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he may be one of the greatest kickers in NFL history, but he's still your baby boy.
He is, and he's still a boy of Georgetown.
That's great. And this is the time where the NFL has their My Cause, My Cleats program that's going in support of many programs, and Mason's going to be wearing cleats that support the locker, which you founded. Is that right?
Yes, that's so exciting. And then it's really exciting that I'm actually here. I'm going to get to see him wear them and represent our foundation, the locker. And it's a great program that the NFL does. It's kind of the idea is every cleat have a story. And so the players tomorrow will wear cleats, kind of what their story is, what they support off the field. And so Mason was so gracious and chose the locker, which our family is such a part of.
Well, we're so excited about that. And I had some contact and some input with the locker whenever I was working for Georgetown PD. So you founded the locker. Tell us about the locker and what they are doing in the community right now.
Oh, yes, great. So we're 10 years old now, believe it or not.
Wow.
And we're actually moving all over Texas. We're in 18 other school districts now all over Texas. But we started right there at Georgetown High School, and it's a foundation about kids, helping kids. Mason talks a lot about, not really understanding there was such a need when he grew up in Georgetown. And so now that we have the locker and he sees that there's so many people in need that you just don't see, kind of the invisible need. And so the locker is about teaching kids to help each other, for teams and other kids to get together and say, you know what, I think we need some backpacks, we need some hygiene products, or some kids actually need the whole set of clothes. So let's take care of each other, let's step up and fill that need for one another. It's really a powerful model, and all the other lockers across Texas have all been started by students.
That's fantastic. I love the concept because it's not only helping the kids, but it's teaching other kids that benevolence that helps make a lot of communities, but especially the Georgetown community, such a great community.
Thank you. Georgetown is a great community. They're so giving, and when they step up and support the kids who are saying, we want to help each other, can you help us do that? What a powerful model that is, and it gets our whole community involved with helping each other. And, the locker helps kids that it's not low socioeconomic. It's any kid at any time. Sometimes we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And so we are just contacted by school counselors, coaches, a school nurse, and just say, I have a kid who has a need. Can you all fill it? And so we just step up and do that. Most of the time we don't even know who the child is. We're just filling a need for a kid to be successful at school and want to show up every day in the building.
What a great program. And y'all have an event coming up next weekend, correct?
We do. It's called the Reindeer Run, and it was actually started by 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders at Mitchell Elementary, and they noticed that kids' shoes didn't fit them. Either they were too big or too small or had holes all in them. So they started the Reindeer Run, and it's in our 6th year now. It's gotten really big, and it's next Sunday afternoon, December the 9th, $10 for students and $20 for adults. And we're running for shoes. We give out lots and lots of new shoes in the locker. And so the Reindeer Run is just an awareness for that and to help us raise money. We have 25 filly stations, so don't be scared like it's a run, because I wouldn't be participating. It is just 25 silly stations that say the softball team and the baseball team and the band and the choir, and different groups get together and do their own station. Like we have a polar bear crawl where you crawl through, shaving cream, and a snowball fight when you do an obstacle course. They throw snowballs at you. And so we have that, and then we have Santa's Village, which is hot chocolate and face painting and you can come and buy Christmas presents. We'll have Sonic will be there with food. We have Marco's Pizza will be there. So you can eat and do a little shopping. You can go through the course, the silly reindeer run course. And so it's just really fun. And then Santa Claus himself will be there.
Yeah.
So that'll be really fun too. So it's designed for kids from strollers up to, old like me. So it's designed for all ages, just to come out and have a time together to get in the Christmas spirit. We have live carolers will be there. So it's just a really fun community event. So I hope people will come out and do that and support the kids, showing that they want to support other kids. And then in the meantime, too, we can buy shoes for kids.
Great. And again, that's next Sunday?
Yes. It's at McMaster Park at 1 o'clock. And so just come out and enjoy it with us. It's always a great time. It's silly fun, and we always just really enjoy it. There's a lot of people who come out and join us. And McMaster Park, back by the Bart Park, is where we are this year. The park is under construction, so we've moved back there for this year. And $10 for kiddos and $20 for adults, and just a fun way to spend a Sunday afternoon as a family and help others in the meantime.
Well, great. We sure appreciate that, Karen, and everything that y'all do in the community. And Mason's not the only member of your family that supports this, right? The whole family's involved.
You bet. Our whole family is involved. My daughter, Ashley, is the office manager for the locker. She works with me every single day. Our son, Reese, and his wife, Brittany, are really involved. All of my grandkids. My granddaughter was the president at Georgetown High for 4 years. My sweet husband, Jim Crosby, is always right next to me, stepping up, doing what I need. All the kids and their spouses have come into this. It's my dream and my vision for this, but I'm so blessed. My whole family believes in it. We enjoy this as a family. It's really important to us, together as the Crosby family, to be a part of the locker, and we really believe in serving others. We feel like we're called to serve other people, and so we really are committed to this as a family to keep the locker going strong, and just to reach out. We love Georgetown so much. It's our home. My grandkids are here, and so yeah, our whole family is really involved in it, from the top to the littlest ones. We all just love the locker, and we love serving other people.
Well, and it's making a huge difference in our community too, Karen. We appreciate that on behalf of SHN. Thank you. Thank your family. Thank the locker for everything they do in the community. I'll let our listeners know I got the privilege of talking to you and Mason yesterday, and I messed up that recording, so we didn't have that recording. But Mason had a message for Eagle Nation yesterday whenever we had a conversation. Would you like to pass that message along?
I would like to. Mason, of course, again, is a hometown boy. He played football at Georgetown High School, and we are always supporting the Eagles and everyone in Georgetown. But he's a Georgetown Eagle through and through, and so he had a big message to send out. Good luck today, Eagles. Hope you win big, and Eagle fight never dies.
And our thanks to Karen Crosby for joining us on the phone interview with Mr. Kelly DeVoll. Thank you for setting that one up. And we mentioned we had another surprise guest here at halftime, coming back to Eagle Nation after his finishing up his first season at the college level. Well, I'm not saying finished yet. He's still got a bowl game to go to. You'll find out tomorrow where that's going to be. Mr. Caden Leggett. Caden, how you doing?
I'm good, man. It's awesome to be back.
Well, make sure let's pull that a little closer to you so we can make sure we hear you there, bud. There we go.
There you go. Got it.
Yeah. So tell us about your first year at Texas Tech. What was that transition like? What's the biggest difference between high school and college? Like, what are you really thinking after your first full year there?
Well, I definitely didn't really know what to expect coming from senior year in high school, going to Division I football. I mean, it's Big 12, it's Power 5, and It definitely was an amazing experience, and I can't wait to keep it going. But it's just a different talent level and different mentally. I'm just ready to keep it going.
So, one of the things we hear about at the college level specifically is that managing your time. At high school, you're always going to periods, you're in the same building and everything. In college, classes are spread out. Like, how was that adjustment for you?
Right. It's definitely a lifestyle change, and you kind of have to grow up a little bit and know how to handle your business and know how to work your schedule, and everything is just according to you and based on everything that you do. And it definitely is a big change coming from high school, but it's good. It helps you grow up a little bit.
Caden, I talked to Gage last week after that game last week, and he said he was going to blow up your phone because they got to the third round of the playoffs. So.
He did. He definitely let me know about it.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on this first half for the Eagles?
Well, I think we're playing well defensively. I think the offense needs to get going, but I know we got great guys in charge of that, and they're going to get it going really soon. I like what I'm seeing from the defensive line. Mason Myers really playing hard, and I really like the linebacker Taylor Bill is really playing hard, and I just think the defense looks good. Offense gets going. We'll be right back in the game.
I was going to actually follow up on that. What do you think's being said in the locker room right now? You're the only one in this booth that has that experience and know what Coach Dean might be saying.
Well, I think that he's really taking it upon his leaders. We have a leadership council for a reason, and those guys are made to step up and tell the team what they need to fix, what areas we need to improve on, and I think they just need to get a feel for it. I mean, it's third round football, and this team we keep playing right now has definitely come out and played hard in the first half. So I think that we got the leaders on the team that are letting everyone know what we need to do and what we need to correct, and just to get going.
So change at Texas Tech this year. Coach Kingsbury's out now and got a new coach.
Yep.
Thoughts?
I like him. We're definitely going to miss Coach Kingsbury. He's been with us for a long time, and he's at a different place now, and we kind of just need to move on with it. And I think it just really sticks to our team that needs to stick together and know what we have. And kind of one thing that he said is it's not a rebuild, it's a recharge. So our team, it's definitely not a rebuilding season for us, I don't think. I think we have who we need, and what we need to do is just regroup, get together this offseason with the new staff, and get on pages everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent in place at Texas Tech, and I think this new coach is coming into a really good situation. Y'all were just so close to being competitive to play today.
Right.
And just a couple of injuries, but there's one Red Raider in particular I'm excited to watch play on that football field next year. So it's all ahead of you. You didn't burn your shirt this year, so you got four seasons left. What's going to happen, man?
I'm ready to get going. We have some guys, most everybody coming back on the offensive side of the ball, but I'm definitely ready to this offseason to improve my game and help this offense be dynamic coming into this next season.
What do you think you need to work hardest on this coming season? Obviously, after seeing that first full year at the college level, I'm sure you were doing some scout team work, things like that. Like, what do you think you really need to focus on this offseason?
Well, I was very fortunate to be on the traveling squad every game and be a backup. I was fortunate to be a backup this season.
So you didn't have to do the scout team thing.
Did not, no.
That's rare for a redshirt guy, right?
Yeah. You backing up TJ Vasher, right?
Yep, and TJ, a great buddy of mine, and just an outstanding football player.
Oh yeah, he
just knows the game, and that's one thing about Division I college football players is that they have talent, but they know what's going on mentally, and they know how to play this game, and they know, that's one thing about TJ. From learning from him is he's been at Tech for 3 years, and learning from. The wide receiver position is elite at Texas Tech. There's been some guys that have come through there and have really played well. You see Kiki Kuti and Cam Batson already in the NFL and making roles on those teams. And the wide receiver position at Tech is thriving right now, and we have great guys that are in charge of that. And that's one thing that I think I'm going to get together with TJ and the guys this season and help improve is just getting comfortable with the offense and the atmosphere of Division I football.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You're on the traveling squad, so you kind of have a unique position on this. What's the coolest venue you got to play in so far this year in your first year?
Without a doubt, probably we played Ole Miss first game opening up NRG Stadium. It was surreal. I mean, coming from playing College Station in the middle of nowhere with Georgetown Eagle crowd out there to the NRG Stadium where the Houston Texans play against SEC team like Ole Miss was absolutely insane. Didn't know what to expect, and my eyes were just widened as soon as I came out the tunnel.
So, Caden, I've known you a long time now. I've been watching you play football since you were 5 years old, and flag football, and you've always worked so hard. How has that changed at Tech? Because I know at Georgetown you were working as hard as you possibly could, and then you find that you go to Tech where everybody's an elite player, and now you got to work even harder. So what's been the biggest challenge with that?
And that has always been my motto and kind of my lifestyle is hard work pays off. And I firmly believe is if you work hard and you're willing to do the work and study the game and do everything you have to do to prepare, I think that nothing or anyone that says you can't do it. I think that I'm a big firm believer on dreams. If you have a dream and you really set to it and you prepare every single day and attack the day and have goals towards it, I think that nothing can stop you if you try to achieve it just like that.
We got a lot of folks here. Most of us probably never played D1 ball or any level of college ball. I know I helped out in the athletic department in the school that I went to, but take us through what a day in your life is like, especially during football season, because the hours, I don't think people really understand. They only see what happens on Saturday, but they don't really understand all the hours that goes into being a student athlete.
Right, and it definitely is. It's crazy, and so I think a day-to-day schedule for me is probably 6 o'clock wake up, and we have breakfast at 6:30, and you go into a position meeting at around 6:45, team meeting at 7, and then you've got practice from about 7 to 11 a.m. And then you have mandatory lunch. Every meal is mandatory. They have a sign-in sheet. You have to go to that, or else you have punishment for that. And then after your practice from 7 to 11, you've got class all day till about maybe 3 o'clock. And then you got to come back for position meetings and team meetings till about maybe 5. And then you got study hall and tutoring hours, so you got to make sure you get that in from about 5:30 to 7:30, and then after that, it's kind of your time to go and get some of the homework that you have that you didn't finish, because tutoring usually works about the next week. So you go home, get your homework done, and get done at about 9 o'clock. Then it's time to go to bed.
A lot of free time.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But that's the price you pay for becoming a Division I athlete, and school is almost just as important. And they definitely teach that at Texas Tech, but it's the price you pay.
Any idea what you started majoring in, or have you decided yet at this point?
Yeah, I have business management.
Okay.
So kind of want to get into that area.
And the other thing, I'll freely admit, my first semester at when I went to Auburn, it was not the easiest making the transition to college, just because you're managing time and everything.
Absolutely.
Hardest class or favorite class that you've had so far?
I'll go into both of those categories. It's hardest, but also my favorite was the history of rock and roll.
Wait, that's a great class.
Yeah.
How wasn't I offered that?
Okay, yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. It's not your basic, science and math class. It's kind of out there, something that you didn't really have the opportunity to have in high school. So it's something different. But it's tough. But I enjoyed it. I learned a lot.
I could teach that class.
I bet you could.
I saw an interview with Coach Kingsbury, and he said something that did not surprise me, because D1 coaches do not talk about preferred walk-ons.
Right.
And whenever you got the preferred walk-on, I was laughing, and I said, there's going to be so many coaches that are going to go, man, we missed. We missed. Because I know you. I know how you play. You're the hardest worker I have ever seen on a football field. But Coach Kingsbury said, every time you come on the field, you play in practice like you're the best player on that field. And that's starting to pay off.
Yeah.
So keep that going. Get out there. I'm excited to see what your future holds. I love you, buddy.
I appreciate
that.
And
I'm excited for you, man.
Thank you
so much. This is
so
so cool.
Caden Leggett, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time up here this afternoon. Get back down there and cheer your Eagles on as they try to make a comeback here in the second half.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for joining us, Caden. Good to see you, pal.
All right, Raider Power, as the man heads off. I'm sure he's getting his fill of frozen tortillas on the field over there, too. As they come flying out of the stands in Lubbock. We'll keep you updated real quick as we keep moving along here, getting ready to get back to action. 3 minutes, 31 seconds to go before the officially kick off half number 2. Up in Dallas, or Arlington, I should say, there's about 9 minutes to go in the ball game between Texas and Oklahoma, and Oklahoma leads by 3. So interesting matchup there, as Kelly will join us back here again. We'll run you down some other scores here in high school action. In 5A football, we have, 5A in Division I. Lone Star and John Tyler scoreless in the first quarter. Highland Park 38-0 over Timberview so far in the second quarter. Every other game in Division I later on this afternoon or tonight. Grapevine's taking on Birdville. Denton Ryan at Coronado. And Veterans Memorial plays Veterans Memorial. The two teams down in San Antonio both have Veterans Memorial names to them. I forget exactly where they are, the differences, but somebody, $20 says Veterans Memorial wins tonight.
That's who my money's on.
Elsewhere, just in 6A, just so we can keep you updated on a few things here and there, the Woodlands trails Allen 17-10 at the half. Cy-Fair and Atascocita scoreless in the first. Hannah and Brandeis. That's a good ball game. 26-20, Hannah leading that one. First quarter, Hebron and Houghton scoreless. And later on tonight, Westbrook, Katy Tompkins are playing each other. Waco Midway taking on Klein Oak. Tascosa and Lake Ridge later tonight. Willasco and Lake Travis. And then Vandergrift and Longview as well. So a couple of Austin area schools in 6A in action later on this evening.
This is the round of the playoffs where you really start to see the separations. And the fourth round, everybody that's in the fourth round of the playoffs has a shot.
Yeah.
So you're starting to see that separation take place. And this second half, Georgetown's got to prove they belong.
Well, Georgetown trails it 14-0 after a rough first half here in Bryan, Texas at Merrill Green Stadium. Shadow Creek scoring in the first quarter, a 5-yard touchdown run by the quarterback on a scramble. Jamarian George made it 7-0 with 2:42 to go in the first. And then 8:29 to go in the second. This was a backbreaker. 3rd and 24 for Shadow Creek after 3 straight penalties against them. They needed the 1-yard line for a first down. Instead, they get 25 yards and a touchdown on a pass from George to Keelan Jackson. 14-0 your score. And we thought Shadow Creek was going to score again. Georgetown had a really nice drive that was scuttled on an interception. Shadow Creek, with a lot of minutes to go, had a chance from the 50 to drive down. They got the ball all the way down to the 4. A scramble to the 1 by the quarterback, Jamarian George, before the ball came out, recovered by Georgetown, stopping the drive there, keeping this a 2-touchdown game. And you got to think, it feels like Shadow Creek has really dominated this football game. They dropped a couple of touchdowns. They've had 2 touchdowns called back on penalties. So interesting first half there for Georgetown. We're going to step aside, go down to the field real quick. I think we got Coach Dean for a halftime interview.
No.
I don't think he might be in the mood to talk right now, Dave.
No, I think he's focused. He's got this team focused. They've got 24 minutes to come on back.
Yeah.
And Eagle fight never dies.
Well, and we were talking about it earlier, though. This is a Shadow Creek team that led 14-0 last week at halftime against Cedar Park, and midway through the fourth quarter, that game was tied.
Right.
So this is not uncommon territory for them. Georgetown's come back from double digits already in this playoffs. They did it just last week.
Yeah, you've seen, and I've seen several playoff games. I was at one last night. And from the first drive, you knew the two teams were unevenly matched, and there was a really good chance, turned out it happened, of a blowout. This is not the case with this game. What Georgetown needs to fix is fixable, but if they don't get it fixed quickly, then this could get ugly very quick. But Georgetown's still in this game.
I think you and I probably agree here. The key is going to be the opening drive of this half. Georgetown gets the ball.
Yeah, when you get that stop that you had at the end of the first half, you get that turnover, you shut down, you don't go down 20, you don't go down 3 scores, you don't go down 3 possessions. You have to do something with that now coming out on this first drive and put points on the board. A field goal is something, but you put this ball in the end zone, it's a whole new game. Georgetown's back in this game, and we got ourselves a football game.
Brad Tillery here in the booth alongside Kelly DeVoll. Dave England on the sideline. Nathan Height running the board for us here this afternoon. Glad to have you along as we kick off half number 2 of this round 3 game between the Georgetown Eagles and the Shadow Creek Sharks. Going to take a couple of our sponsors before we get going.
Folks, don't forget the UIL State Football Championships December 20th through the 23rd at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Tickets are available to purchase now through Ticketmaster. For more information, visit uiltexas.org. If you love Texas high school football, that is the place to be.
Also, Georgetown Jewelry, a proud sponsor of Georgetown Eagle football and SHN Sports. Visit them online at georgetownjewelry.com or in person in the Williamsburg Shopping Center in Georgetown.
We also want to thank Jay Warren, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Texas Realty. For all of your home buying or selling needs, trust the best in Central Texas. Jay Warren, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Texas Realty. Visit jwarrenrealtor.com.
Shadow Creek to kick it away, moving right to left to start the second half. Kick is a line drive, end over end, fielded around the 10. Xavier Torres with the ball across the 20, picks up a hole, and he's taken down out to the 24. Really a ball that he had to return, a line drive kick that would have landed inside the 10 and possibly kicked up. So nice return there by Torres, decent field position for Georgetown.
It looks like a simple return, but there was something that happened at the end of that you like to see. His buddies in white jerseys came over and helped trying to push him, get a little extra. Georgetown has to get into this fight, and it is a fight. They got to come out and try to punch Shadow Creek in the mouth on this first drive and let them know they ain't going anywhere.
3 wide receivers to the far side for Georgetown. R.J. Marino in the backfield with Jackson Siosin. Coming across the formation, Dylan Cahill. They will fake the sweep. Siosin's going to keep it up the middle across the 25, pushes out to the 30. Nice first down run there by Jackson Siosin, a pickup of about 5.
What can happen sometimes in a play calling situation like this is Siosin had a good drive going through an interception, and that may make Georgetown a little leery of throwing that pass, but they got to stick with that, mix this up, and keep Shadow Creek on their heels on defense.
Second down, 5 to go. Shadow Creek jumps off sides. That was big number 92, Alec Bryant, the Oklahoma commit. He's just a junior, already committed to go to Oklahoma, but he was off sides by a mile.
That's got to be like the 11th penalty.
I tried to get an official number at halftime and couldn't find one, but legitimately that's about 9 or 10 penalties already on Shadow Creek this afternoon.
The coaches, and this is the first drive, second play of the first drive, and they've got another penalty, so the Shadow Creek coaching staff just got to be pulling their hair out.
Well, that's enough for a first down, so Georgetown will move the sticks 1st and 10 from the 34, their own 34. Marino being moved to the right of Jackson Siosin. Split back to the backfield. He's got Rodan back there, too. Cahill across the formation, near side to far. Faking the throw. Siosin's going to keep it over the right side. Hit and pushes his way forward across the 35. The pile continuing to move and out to the 37. Pickup of 3. And already you could see maybe the game plan changing a little bit, getting some motion to trying to get Siosin up the middle with moving the linebackers around, Kelly.
I'm seeing something kind of interesting. Coach Dean is standing 10 yards away from anybody on the sideline to our left down there. He's got a headset on, and he's usually right in the middle of the mix, but he's nowhere near those guys right now.
Well, here's 2nd and 7 for Georgetown. 3 wide receivers set, rolling left. Siosin, he's going to straight keep it, spins out of a tackle, and then he is swallowed up by a bunch of sharks. Loss of 4 on the play for Jackson Siosin will bring up 3rd and 11.
Kelly, to follow up on that last comment, I can verify he's very intense at pregame. Emily and I noted that he was, before anybody got in the football stadium, he was sitting over on the bench on the Georgetown side just thinking. He's putting a lot of thought, a lot of work into this. Hats off to this coaching staff of the Georgetown Eagles.
I was going to say before that, David, Shadow Creek is, you can tell their scouting has paid off because they know how dangerous Siosin is whenever he starts running the ball, and he hasn't had a great deal of success today.
Well, here's 3rd and 11. Georgetown with only 2 receivers in the formation, looking like they're going kind of a max protect here. Rolling to the right, Siosin got a little bit of time, now has to make a man miss, and he will be sacked back at the 25-yard line. A loss of 7, and Georgetown will be forced to punt.
Exactly what you don't want to have happen if you're Georgetown. That first drive, get a couple of good yards on the first play, and then the Sharks defense just shut them down. And
tell you what, Georgetown, it looked like they were trying to go max protect, fewer receivers in the route to give Siosin a little more time to make a decision. But when you do that, obviously, you have less options as a quarterback.
Yeah, they're trying to hit something deep, and Shadow Creek is too fast.
Punt away from Elijah Clough, end over end kick that will bounce and actually go out of bounds. So we'll see where this one gets marked. Linesman continuing to walk in. They will officially mark it out of bounds at the 48. So Shadow Creek with the ball just inside their own territory.
I think that was a little bit generous, but we'll take it.
TKM Telecom and Excavation Directional Drilling. They specialize in directional drilling, offering a multitude of construction services and specializing in directional drilling and bores, including road bores. Check them out on Facebook at TKM Telecom and Excavation. Now the Sharks take the field on offense for the first time here in the second half. Jim Murray and George hands it off. Going left is Marcus Hewlin. He'll across the 50-45, makes a man miss, being drugged down now at the 35, carrying defenders with him. Finally taking him down on the play was Colby Cummings, but not before Hewlin was able to pick up 19 on the play.
Tyler Knowles is getting so frustrated because on the snap of the ball, he's getting arms completely wrapped around his shoulders, and he's starting to get frustrated.
Handoff again to Hewlin. They work that left side one more time, and this time he's across the 30. Pickup of 3 on the play, tackled there by Mason Meyer.
It's kind of funny because I was watching on the line just then, and all the offensive linemen got their hands inside like you teach a lineman to do. None of them on the outside holding that time, and Georgetown was able to keep that run to a short gain.
8:22 to go in the third quarter. Shadow Creek with the ball in Georgetown territory at the 30. Faking a handoff, kind of a busted play. George is going to have to tuck it and try to make something happen. Across the 30, he'll just slide down for a gain of 1. It looked like the running back, Isaiah Harper, didn't know what the play was as George was going to hand it off.
Yeah, a little confused there in the background. He did a good job of not getting trapped in the background and turning nothing into at least a little something, at least not a loss for Shadow Creek. But Georgetown's defense needs to stiffen up here and really shut this drive down. It's probably 2-down territory in this area, I would think.
Here comes third and a short 5, long 6 for Shadow Creek at the Georgetown 29. George takes the snap, looking left side, fakes, now throws deep, got a man. It is caught. Touchdown, Shadow Creek. Jared Jackson on the pump and go, a 29-yard touchdown strike, and it is 20-0 Sharks with an extra point to come.
Elijah Clough really bought on that pump fake, and that was enough to free up the receiver for Shadow Creek. Wide open down there with nobody on him, and not the start you want to the half if you're the Eagles.
Well, Jackson with his first touchdown catch of the day. Extra point on the way for Greg Izuchukwu, and it is good. And your new score with 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Shadow Creek Sharks lead Georgetown by a score of 21-0.
We want to thank Stone Deck for their sponsorship of this broadcast on SHN Sports. Stone Deck specializes in concrete pavers, retaining walls, water features, steps, pool decks, patios, walkways, driveways, fire pits, outdoor living. For all your outdoor needs, visit StoneDeckTexas.com. Proud supporter of Georgetown Eagle football.
Also want to thank Shelly Rodeker, our loan officer with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, MLS 1438623, located at 714 South Austin Avenue, Suite 201 in Georgetown, Texas. Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, national strength with hometown service, equal housing lender.
Booth This Way, we make the party booth. This Way Photo Booth Rentals can make any event, wedding, party, or trade show be a success. Visit boofthisway.com for current specials. Again, that's boofthisway.com. Go Eagles.
Well, Shadow Creek to kick it off to Georgetown. The Sharks lead it 21-0, the number 5 team in the state. Doing what they do here as they look impressive so far against the Eagles, and Georgetown has to make something happen. Time called.
They were not able to get the clock reset, so referees are trying to get that reset. Now they did.
Brad, I think we're at a point in this football game where Georgetown can't have any more mistakes.
Toe meets leather, and a line drive end over end kick fielded inside the 5 by Xavier Torres. He stumbles, now regains his footing, and there's about 4 Sharks there to snag him inside the 15.
Good coverage down there, and they were able to defeat their blocks. And once he got past that first couple of steps, it was nothing but black jerseys waiting on him.
Well, this will be the most adversity Georgetown may have faced all year.
It is. This resembles very much the Cedar Park game because at halftime, the Hutto game, because at halftime Georgetown was in a similar hole, but they've really got to fight back and stay in this ball game or they're going to be in trouble soon.
Georgetown could really use a big play here. Split back to the backfield for Siosin. Ball at the 14 of Georgetown. Rodan goes out of the backfield into formation and up the middle on the handoff, R.J. Marino. And just a 2-yard gain for R.J.
Just no success on that ground game. The Shadow Creek defensive line has really controlled that line of scrimmage, which the Eagles are not used to having that happen. So,
and Kelly and Brad, at some point you have to start thinking about you've got to get some points on the board and you've got to score quick.
3 receivers on the far side for Georgetown this time. Siosin takes the snap, looking to that far side, has nowhere to go with it, has to tuck it. Trying to find a hole, he does across the 15, and then he is tackled back to the original line of scrimmage. He had a little bit of room and then tried to cut it outside and was taken down there. No gain on the play, and it will be 3rd and 8.
Jackson had 3 receivers on that left side, but they're running those deep routes, and he's just not having time for those deep routes to develop like they need to, and he's got to scramble before the routes can open up, and he gets any help down there, and his receivers are not coming back to help him out.
Yeah, seemingly the only success Georgetown's had today in the passing game has been little rollout 5-6-yard passes.
Yep, I think you got to get Jackson out of the pocket.
4 receivers in the set. Cahill coming in motion to the near side. Actually, that's Lachlan now throwing. Siosin over the middle, thrown behind Dylan Cahill. That was into double coverage. And that'll bring up 4th down and 8 for Georgetown.
Well, it's almost like they're hearing the play calls because the defense is doing really well. They're disciplined in their coverages, and they're just not giving the receivers much. That was a pretty tight window that Jackson was having to throw in there, and it's just not there for the Eagles.
If Shadow Creek's able to force you to throw the ball, that's playing into their hands because their defensive backfield may be one of the best in the state.
It really is. These kids are fast. They get to the ball well, even if there is a completion.
Snap low to Clough. He picks it up in the end zone, and he will be taken down for a safety. A bobbled low snap. 2 points on the board for Shadow Creek. And your score now with 6:04 to go in the 3rd quarter. Shadow Creek extends the lead to 23-0.
Brad, this is the point in the game. You heard Caden talk about it whenever he was up here. This is the point in the game where the leaders on this football team, the senior leadership, those guys on the leadership council have to step up and get guys' heads back into this football game.
Now, Georgetown's going to have to kick it away, and you got to have a stop if you're the defense here.
You do.
You have to. I think one more touchdown, and we can probably start talking about how it's been a great run, and
yeah.
the season, unfortunately, would be coming to an end, but you're still kind of in the game now. You're not out of it. You're still only a 3-score game. 2 touchdowns, a couple of 2-point conversions, and another TD, and it's a tie ball game. So you're not out of it if you're Georgetown, but you got to start moving quickly.
You got to have some things bounce your way. You've got to be able to do some of the things, and now you're fixing to give the ball right back to Shadow Creek on the free kick after the safety. Man, do you? If you got something up your sleeve, now's the time.
Well, Georgetown will kick it away, setting it up at the 20. It looks like they're going to go with the punt as opposed to a straight kickoff on the free kick. So Clough with the ball in his hands. Wind blowing at his back, moving left to right. It's a high end-over-end kick that's going to chase the entire Sharks back. Ball fielded at 25. They called a fair catch, but it hit the ground. Now he has to pick up and run across the 35 to the 40. That's Greg Hancock with the ball to the far sideline, out to the 50. That turned into a heck of a return for the Shadow Creek Sharks all the way out to the Georgetown 49.
Flag on the play. There's 2 flags on the play. Possibly offsides, maybe?
Yeah, where the flags are down at the 20, you would think that's offsides, and I would imagine Shadow Creek would just decline it and take the field position.
I would. I don't know. You may want to put the ball back in the hands of that kid. Man, he's fast.
I feel like we said a lot about the Sharks today. Man, he's fast.
I know. That describes every player in their starting lineup.
Oklahoma, by the way, about to close out the Big 12 championship, it looks like, leading 39-27 with 2 minutes to go up in Arlington. Other college updates, UAB leads Middle Tennessee in the 3rd quarter, 24-16 in the Conference USA Championship game. And offside, by the way, is the call on the kickoff, 5 yard from the end of the run, so Shadow Creek will get the ball at the 44. In a game that was delayed several weeks because of all the wildfires and smoke out in California, Stanford and Cal, their big rivalry game. Stanford leads 10-0 in the first. Want to thank our friends at Oak Ridge Disciple House. Oak Ridge Disciple House, a nonprofit faith-based Christian character building ministry helping men 18 or older overcome drug and alcohol addiction. If you or someone you know is suffering from addiction, visit Oak Ridge Disciple House online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Shadow Creek back on the field as Jamarian George hands it off over the left side to Marquez Hewlett. Makes a man miss across the 45 to the 40, and he is taken down by the ankles at the 36. Taylor Beal with the tackle. A gain of 9 on the play.
We talked about Georgetown earlier, maybe going in the game plan and try to wear down some of the defenders for Shadow Creek, but that seems to be that seems to have flipped.
Handoff again to Hewlett. Right up the middle he goes this time. It's plenty enough for a first down, a pickup of 4. Out to the Georgetown 31. Winner of this game will play Foster out of the same district that Shadow Creek comes from, in District 10. Foster an 8-4 ball club, 9-4 after their victory yesterday when they defeated Hutto. Georgetown, the last team standing from District 11. Handoff, Hewlett up the middle. Now bounces it out right. Makes a man miss. Out to the 23. Pickup of about 4 for Marquez Hewlett. Shadow Creek looks like they're going to try to start milking this clock a little bit.
Yeah, Jonathan Nice came up, made a good tackle in the open field, where he's got a lot of green in front of him for that end zone.
Pistol formation. This time they'll throw. George looking left. Fires deep. Got a man. Caught across the middle. Makes a man miss. Touchdown, Shadow Creek. Jared Jackson for the second time here in the third quarter. This time a 32-yard strike. And Shadow Creek has just blown this one open.
Boy, what do you do if you're on the Georgetown defense? They have so many weapons and just fast. Have we said that before?
I think we have.
And the defensive line guys are coming off of the field, and their jerseys are just shattered, torn.
Would that be from holding?
Extra point on the way, and it is good. And your score with 4 minutes, 34 seconds to go in the third quarter. Shadow Creek leads it 30-0.
Well, not what you were hoping for. But we have some more sponsors to thank who have made these broadcasts in the playoffs possible. Minuteman Press, design, printing, and promotional products. Minuteman Press of Georgetown is the place to go for all your marketing products and services. Visit them online at mmPTX.com.
I want to thank the folks at the Lofts on Rock Street. It's Georgetown's newest condo community featuring minimalist living with 1- and 2-bedroom condos. Prices range from $250,000 to $360,000 and includes a rooftop deck, 360-degree views of Georgetown. And it's all brought to you by Annette Montgomery and Kimberly Wolfman of Century 21. Visit loftsonrock.com for more information.
Also, Cavett Richmond Homes has been building in Georgetown for over 20 years, specializing in custom homes on 1 acre and larger lots. Visit CavettRichmondHomes.com. That's CAVITT RichmondHomes.com.
Thank our friends over at Georgetown Jewelry, proud sponsors of the Georgetown Eagle football on SHN Sports. Visit them online at georgetownjewelry.com or in person in the Williamsburg Village Shopping Center in Georgetown. So Shadow Creek will line up to kick this one away, leading 30-0 over the Georgetown Eagles here this afternoon. 4 minutes, 34 seconds left in the third quarter. The Shadow Creek fans doing the what you would see Florida as the Gator Chomp. Kickoff, fair catch called for and made by Torres around the 15. He had a nice running start. Kickoff was a little shorter than the last few, but probably instructed to fair catch that one no matter what.
Needing as much of that yardage as they can get because Shadow Creek's done a great job, not only offense and defense, but their special teams has been really effective too. Great open field tackling.
Georgetown has only had the ball in Shadow Creek territory one time today.
Their penalties have got to be in the double digits, but they've got the talent. They've been even able to overcome that and still be dominating this football game.
Yeah, they've had 25, 26 penalties in the last 2 games, somewhere in that range now. It's an impressive showing. Siosin takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looking to pass. Getting chased from behind. He is taken down in the backfield, sacked by number 11, Jeremiah Harris. That is his 11th sack of the season and 15th tackle for loss.
Kelly, I think you could call that a coverage sack.
Yes.
These defensive backs for the Sharks are covering so tight that, you know, Siosin's looking downfield and just hoping to try and get it out to one of them, and there's just nobody open.
The Georgetown offense just doesn't have the time for those long routes.
5 wide receiver set this time. Siosin trying to get his receivers in the right spots. Second and about 17. Siosin looking left, getting swallowed up. Now he's going to escape out of the middle, across the 20 to the 25. Kicks up a block and tackled from behind, but he gets all the way out to the 29-yard line. Good pickup of, looks like about 12 for Siosin there. Brings up 3rd and 6.
He had a lot of open field, but we're starting to sound like a broken record. They just closed that distance so fast. Looks like he's going to have an easy first down run, but, boy, the black jerseys just swarm to the football.
Again, 5 wide for Georgetown. 3:15 to go in the third quarter. 3rd and 6 for Georgetown. Siosin looking, fires, got a man, caught at the 37, and a first down for Georgetown. Pickup of 8. Dylan Cahill on the catch, and I think that might be the longest pass play of the day for Georgetown.
Quick hits, success in that quick hit, and I think almost every time they've thrown that ball short like that, they've had some success. So let's see if they keep that up.
Georgetown going with the 5 wide set again. This might be the formation the rest of the way for Georgetown. Trying to spread this defense out as much as possible. Siosin takes the snap, fires near side, got Cahill again, and it is caught, pushed out of bounds at the 42-yard line. So a pickup of 4. A nice first down play for Georgetown. They're actually going to give them 5 on the play.
This style of game, sorry, Kelly, I think you really got to go spread. You've got to go fast. You've got to hurry up and get a lot of points as fast as you can. The good old Georgetown offense that we're used to in the past. This year we've seen a lot of run play, but we need to score.
Torres in the backfield. 2 wide receivers on each side for Siosin. Second down, 5 to go. Siosin looking far side, fakes, looking to go deep. It's not there. He tucks it, now trying to run up the middle, escape out of the pocket. Makes a man miss before he's taken down at the 40. Loss of 2 on the play and a late flag coming in. See what the flag is for. Number 38 there, in on the tackle was Terrence Ellis for Shadow Creek.
They may have got one of the Georgetown.
Face mask on Shadow Creek. So 15 yards and a first down now for Georgetown.
Kind of a late flag, but that referee was standing right there when the play was made. I was wondering what the call was going to be with as late as he threw it.
Well, just the second time today, Georgetown will march into Shadow Creek territory. Getting the ball at the Shark 45, 30-0 your score. 2:15 to go here in the third quarter. Shadow Creek dominating this ball game. Georgetown with 5 wide receivers, 4 to the far side, 1 on the near. Siosin takes the snap, looking far side, steps up, will fire, got a man. It's Cahill, complete at the 20, up to the 15, 10, 5, reaches out, and he is just short of the end zone. They're going to say, I think he stepped out at the 2.
He didn't step out. He was just, he had his
tackle
knee down.
from behind, had his knee down.
Gosh, it looked like that ball crossed the plane. Great
Boy,
catch by Cahill.
Looked like it from up here, too.
Cahill got open that time, gentlemen.
43-yard pass from Siosin to Cahill as he found his way behind that defense. 1:50 to go in the third quarter, and Georgetown, with their deepest penetration of the day, now first and goal from the Shadow Creek 2. Moreno in the backfield. Cahill coming across the formation. They will fake the sweep. Siosin up the middle on the keeper across the goal line. Did he get in? Fumble. The ball is out. They said he's short of the goal line either way, and they're going to give this ball to Shadow Creek. Siosin fumbles at the 1, and the Sharks will take over from there.
Oh, that's a crusher. Just an absolute crusher. I thought he crossed the goal line.
His helmet was across the line from what I could tell.
I thought he stuck the ball over. Sure wish I could see a replay of that.
Just everything that could go wrong for Georgetown today has seemingly gone wrong. It is not been a banner day for the Eagles, unfortunately. 30-0 your score. Shadow Creek leads it, and they have the ball at their own 1, stopping Georgetown. Jackson Siosin fumbling, trying to run the dive play in for their first score of the game.
Now you find out what kind of pride these Eagles have.
Big heavy set here for Shadow Creek, and met at the line of scrimmage is number 6, Isaiah Harper on the carry. Only picks up a yard. A couple of Georgetown Eagles right there to fill the hole.
Number 40.
Number 40, Jack Schneeman, one of the men there.
Yeah, Jack came up, made a good play. It was a mano-a-mano in the hole, and Jack did a good job taking the running back off his feet.
2nd and 9 now, and there's a flag down. I feel like I've said that about 20 times today.
You may have.
This will go against Shadow Creek. Illegal motion on the play, and that'll be half the distance to the goal, which is all of 1 yard. So Shadow Creek back to the 1 yard line where it will be 2nd and 10.
Georgetown defense is pretty fresh right now after getting a little bit of a break from that last offensive series.
50 seconds to go in the third quarter. Snap, handoff to the right side. Ball fumbled in the end zone. It is loose. Who fell on it?
Georgetown's got it.
Touchdown, Georgetown. The defense comes up with a big play. I believe that's Brandon Hargrove who came up with it. It is.
Number 48.
Yeah, the quarterback just couldn't handle the snap. He started to tuck it and run, and he bobbled it, and it fell on the ground. A break Georgetown needed to get on the board. See if that gives them a little bit of a spark.
Brandon Hargrove coming up with the fumble recovery on the muffed handoff in the backfield. Georgetown has their first score of the ball game with 42 seconds to go in the third.
Was that Isaiah Harper, their running back, taking a direct snap?
No, it was a handoff. It was just a botched handoff.
Okay.
Diaz in for the extra point attempt. Snap down, hold good, kick also good, and guess what, folks? We got flags on the play. We will see what the call is. My guess is offsides against Shadow Creek. By the way, everybody's working, are coming off the field, and that is the case. So your score, with 42 seconds to go in the third quarter of play, the Georgetown Eagles finally find the scoreboard 30-7. They still trail it, but some life as we get close to the fourth quarter.
We want to thank a couple of our sponsors again. J. Warren Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Texas Realty EV. For all your home buying or selling needs, trust the best in Central Texas. J. Warren Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Texas Realty. Visit jwarrenrealtor.com.
I want to thank TKM Telecom and Excavation. TKM specializes in directional drilling, offering a multitude of construction services and specializing in directional drilling and bores, including road bores. Check them out on Facebook at TKM Telecom and Excavation.
Stone Deck specializes in concrete pavers, retaining walls, water features, steps, pool decks, patio, walkways, driveways, fire pits, outdoor living. For all the outdoor needs, visit StoneDeckTexas.com. Proud supporter of Georgetown Eagle football.
That penalty was a 15-yard penalty against Shadow Creek. Georgetown will kick off from the Shadow Creek 45. And if you ever wanted to think about an onside kick, now is your time.
Now is the time. And they're absolutely going to do that, I believe.
And Georgetown looks to be lining up for an onside kick. Here they go. Kicking off from the Shadow Creek side of the field. Onside kick away, ball bouncing, ball is loose, and Georgetown has it. Georgetown recovers at the 31, and the Eagles have life.
I'm sorry.
There is a flag down.
Oh, no.
A flag
offsides.
down might be offsides against Georgetown.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no. Where that flag is, that is in the neighborhood of offsides against Georgetown. A well-executed onside kick, and I think it won't stand. Illegal formation against Georgetown is the call. 5-yard penalty. Now, here's the deal. The ball's still at the 50. You could think about onside kicking this again.
Oh, I think you got to, and I think Coach Dean is in the ear of one of the officials because I think they were saying Georgetown didn't have enough guys on both sides of the ball, but they had 5 on both sides of the ball. And you hear the Georgetown fans booing. That call should not have been made because they had 5 on each side of the ball, which is a new rule this year. You got to have 5 players on both sides of the football. You can't stack one side or the other on an onside kick, and they had it.
That would change.
Wow.
That could change the game.
Completely.
You had an onside kick recovery that, my goodness, Georgetown had the ball at the 31. Down 23 still, but life and a chance, and now they got to try another one, this time kicking off from the 50. You got to think they're going to onside kick this thing again, where the ball is in the field position.
See, they're lining up in the exact same set. They've got 5 guys on both sides of the ball, and wow, that was a terrible call.
Onside kick again, ball bouncing, and this is going to bounce out of bounds. Kicked a little too hard there. Ball.
It takes you back to last year in that College Station game where you had some difficulty with your onside kicks.
Oh, tough break for Georgetown.
Well, and they just missed another one because number 22 for Shadow Creek cut the legs out from underneath one of the Georgetown defenders on that kick, and you cannot block below the waist on a kickoff.
Well, the ball bounced out of bounds, so it will be a kickoff infraction against Georgetown. It's still not the worst thing in the world for Georgetown because they kicked off from the 50. Shadow Creek's going to get the ball at the 30-yard line here. But the worst thing that happens is Georgetown doesn't have the football after recovery. Man, oh man.
Dave, what did he call?
It was the illegal kickoff going out of bounds.
Yeah,
so it's 5 yards from the it's 5 yards from the spot of where the ball went out. They say the ball went out to 25, so ball spotted at the 30 here.
Dave, can you hear what Coach Dean's saying? Because I think he's saying that one of the Shadow Creek guys touched the football before it went out of bounds.
Yeah, I can't hear what he's saying. The band's too loud.
You got a band in your ear, huh?
Yeah.
All right. 42 seconds to go in the third quarter. Georgetown down 23. Shadow Creek with the ball at their own 30. Handoff over the middle. Right through the hole goes the running back, Marquez Hewlin. He picks up 11. It's a first down for the Sharks. And if they want to, they can take this thing to the fourth quarter.
Boy, that first penalty on that onside kick that Georgetown recovered is a killer, absolute killer. Goodness.
Well, folks, we do know Georgetown can score fast and score in bunches. Last week, they scored 28 points in the fourth quarter, or the second quarter. The Eagles are going to need something similar here today. Shadow Creek's content to let the clock roll and go to the fourth quarter of play. Your score with 12 minutes left to go in round 3 of the 5A Division I playoffs. Shadow Creek, the number 5 team in the state, leads it 30-7 over the Georgetown Eagles.
We want to thank Fairway Independent Mortgage for their sponsorship of this playoff broadcast. Shelley Roddicker, loan officer with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 1438623, located at 714 South Austin Avenue, Suite 201 in Georgetown, Texas. Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, national strength with hometown service. Equal housing lender.
Also want to thank Booth This Way. At Booth This Way, we make the party. Booth This Way photo booth rentals can make any event, wedding, party, or trade show be a success. Visit bootthisway.com for current specials. Again, that's bootthisway.com. Go Eagles from our friends at Booth This Way.
Folks, our sponsors have really helped us out this year and made these broadcasts possible. Please, 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 if you have a need they can fill, please use our sponsors. Give them a chance to serve you as they have served us. Thank you so much to our sponsors all season long, especially Oak Ridge Disciple House and Josh Harris. Josh, appreciate you, buddy.
Well, here it is. It is 1st and 10, Shadow Creek going over the right side on the handoff. Hewlin, he will make a couple of men miss across the 40-45. Flag comes in. That's going to be a face mask against Georgetown after the 4-yard pickup.
Some frustration starting to set in. These guys are starting to get a little bit sloppy on their processes and procedures. You understand it's frustrating to lose a ball game like this.
You got to think that the onside kick that went Georgetown's way, and then the call goes against him. Just so deflating for the sideline over there.
It really is, and you can see it. The two sidelines, totally different atmosphere on both sidelines, and Georgetown is pretty demoralized right now.
Sharks with the ball at the Georgetown 39. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. Turnaround, handoff to Hewlin. Stutter step across the 35 and pushes his way out to the 30-yard line. Man, Marquez Hewlin has been an impressive running back today.
And he's 7 yards down the field before anybody even gets a hand on him.
Second down, 1 to go, and Shadow Creek, they like to play fast, but here they are slowing the game up, taking their time, understanding what the situation is. Up 23.
Georgetown's got to take some chances now, try to knock that ball loose.
Hewlin going over the right side, picks his hole, gets across the 30. It's plenty for a first down before he's pushed out of bounds at the 27.
Georgetown's still playing hard, still tackling hard, pursuing the ball well, so you like to see that. You don't want to see these kids quit. And they haven't.
Yeah, Georgetown, you got to have another break or two like they got with the fumble recovery in the end zone. And you need them pretty quickly. 11:02 to go. One thing Georgetown did get out that last play at least was the clock stop with Hewlin running out of bounds. And the left tackle moved. That'll be 5 yards against Shadow Creek on penalty number 2,345.
They are fast, and they are penalized.
Legitimately, probably we don't have an official count, but we think that's about penalty 13 or 14 today against Shadow Creek.
It feels like at least 20.
Referees' arms are going to be sore. There may be some rotator cuff issues throwing those flags.
Straight back to pass. George looks, fires down the seam, got a man at the 10. He stayed on his feet, and he will run it in for the score. Touchdown, Greg Hancock. I don't know how he stayed up after getting hit initially, but he kept himself off the ground, and that will likely be the stake in the heart for Georgetown as Shadow Creek pushes the lead back to 30.
He put one hand down and was able to keep his hips from touching the ground, and that was amazing. Just amazing.
Unbelievable.
This is a talented Shadow Creek team. They really,
really talented, folks. It's hard to describe as the extra point is blocked by Georgetown. Nice play there by Braden Hargrove to get in there with the block. He's got the fumble recovery for the touchdown. Now a blocked extra point. So your score with 10:54 to go in the ball game is 36-7 now.
I said earlier that this is the point where you start to see what kind of pride this Georgetown team has, and they're still playing hard, still trying, still giving it everything they have. The pride's there. It's great to see, and then the sportsmanship's there because two of the Georgetown guys helped one of the Shadow Creek offensive linemen up off the ground after that. So proud of these Georgetown boys for keeping that fight going.
Well, Georgetown, quite frankly, folks, going to need one of the more epic comebacks in Texas State playoff history to make this one happen, down 29 with 10:54 to go.
And this one going into the wind again. If you'll remember in that second quarter, we had that pickoff. Jackson Seosin was picked off, and he was throwing into the wind, and it wind swirling around in the stadium's really doing tricks on these balls in the air. So it's going to be a tall order.
Well, Shadow Creek probably getting one eye towards next week already. They will play, if they hold on here, Foster, a district rival who they will play for the regional championship. Those two teams played in their district game earlier this year. It was Shadow Creek's closest call all season long, 35-34 final score that Shadow Creek beat Foster by. So assuming Shadow Creek holds on here, that could be a really interesting rematch to keep an eye on next week. The Sharks to kick it away. Chukwa puts the boot to leather. That is a short kickoff. Kind of lost his footing and fielded at the 27. Had to just fall on it for the Eagles. Did Cade Lachlan. The ball was bouncing to him and to protect the possession. Just kind of fell down on the football.
Well, this tells you what Shadow Creek has in their district with two teams from the top fighting it out for the regional finals.
Yeah, and Foster was the third-place team in that district, too. And they took down Hutto last night. Did it convincingly. They won by 10. And now Shadow Creek, in their first full season of UIL football, with a chance to go to the quarterfinals if they can hold on here. 5 wide receivers for Siosin to work with. Looking near side. Fires quick behind Cahill. Still caught at the 33, and then he's taken down there. Pickup of about 5 on the play.
Again, sure tackling out there. You saw Cahill. He was all by himself, turned to go up the field, and he got popped.
Yeah, ball was thrown a little bit behind him. I think if you hit him in the numbers, probably a first down. He had room in front of him.
But those quick, short passes, that's where the success is.
Stacked wide receivers on each side for Georgetown. Snap back, throw again near side. This time, Cade Lachlan comes down with the catch near the sideline. A pickup of 4 to make it 3rd and 1.
That's where you want to be. You want to be 3rd and short. You know, the good protection these last 2 plays. That first play got away with possible holding there in the middle, but let's keep moving this ball.
3rd down, a yard to go for the Georgetown Eagles. They will set it at 5 wide receivers, 3 on the far side, 2 on the near. Siosin alone in the backfield. Ball at the near hash mark, moving right to left. Snap back to Siosin. Looking to go quick. Now he's going to try to scramble. Throws at the last minute, and the ball is knocked out of the hands of Dylan Cahill at the 40. He had a Shadow Creek Shark smothered all over him, and that brings up 4th down and a yard.
Jackson got forced out of the pocket then. Again, Shark speed on defense, but possibility on the play there. Georgetown's got to go for this 4th down if they're going to do anything.
And they're going to bring in the bruiser, R.J. Moreno, needing a yard. Moreno lines up in the pistol formation. Heavy set for Georgetown. Only 2 receivers out there. Handoff to Moreno right up the gut, and he'll pick up the 1st down. Pushes his way all the way out to the 40. Does RJ. Gain of 4 on the play, and Georgetown gets a new set of downs.
Like to see those kids keep fighting and RJ's legs driving until they pull him off of it.
Georgetown with some substitutions. Less than 10 minutes to go now in the football game. 36-7. Shadow Creek leads it. 4 wide receivers on the far side. Isaiah Fillmore by himself down here on the near. Siosin looking to the far side. Now ducks away, cuts up the middle as he tucks and runs. A pickup of 3 for Jackson Siosin. Nobody was there to throw to. 2nd down and 7 now for Georgetown.
The Eagle receivers just cannot shake those defensive backs on their routes.
Well, and that speed allows these Shadow Creek defenders to play up and, bump and run off the coverage because they can make it up.
I know our listeners are tired of hearing about their speed, but it is just remarkable how fast they are.
I haven't been saying a whole lot down here on the field. It's impressive.
Stacked receivers on each side for Siosin. Ball right in the middle of the field at the 43 for Georgetown. Siosin drops back, looking, got a man, fires deep over the middle, caught inside the 40 of Shadow Creek. Matt Anderson coming down with the catch. Oh, sorry, Tyler Fithian. I was going by the official roster I had up here, but Tyler Fithian coming down with the catch at the 37 of Shadow Creek, and a 1st down for Georgetown. That's, I think, their longest play of the day besides the Cahill catch earlier.
Yeah, I think so. That was a good route. Wide open in the middle, had the middle of the field wide open, so that was a great reception.
Product of Miss Mac's Shining Stars, Tyler Fithian.
5 receivers again. Siosin looking, firing down the near sideline, and it is incomplete, thrown a little bit short of the intended receiver, Corey Coleman.
He was open for a split second, but Jackson was just a little bit late, and wasn't a lot of fight to get to that football, but defender was between him and the quarterback, so made it difficult anyhow.
8:22 to go in the ball game. Five receivers again. Quick pass near side, caught by Lachlan across the 30. Lunges his way out to about the 29-yard line. Cade Lachlan with the grab, a 8-yard pickup rather, and makes it 3rd and 2. Georgetown trying to hurry.
You see him get those yards after contact. Coach Canfield, the basketball coach, said he does not have any quit.
One of the Shadow Creek defenders got pulled off the field after a little chippiness going on in there. I think their coach is trying to avoid 15-yard penalty.
Empty backfield again. Jackson Siosin trying to reset that line in the blocking from what he sees. Outside linebacker stepping up like he's going to blitz here on the left side. Instead, he drops back into coverage. Siosin steps up, going to scramble, and he is taken down at the 30. Loss of a yard on the play for Jackson, and makes it 4th down and 3 to go for Georgetown.
Through the season, we've seen Jackson turn those into touchdowns, but those openings just close quick today.
This is a team that is going to be a lot to reckon with for anybody who plays them the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think, what are they ranked? 5th?
They're 5th.
5th. I think they're 5th in the state because nobody knows who they are.
And remember, Hutto was 4th coming into this playoff run.
Yeah. And I was impressed with Hutto's speed whenever we played them, but this is just remarkable.
4 wide receivers, 4th down, 3 to go for Georgetown. Siosin looking to the far side, got nowhere to go, trying to scramble out, trying to pick up a block, makes a man miss, scrambling over to the 40, being chased out of the pocket, floats one up over the middle, ball will fall incomplete. He was looking for Dylan Cahill, but a couple of defenders for Shadow Creek were there, led by Xavier Alford, and that will be a turnover on downs with 6:40 to go.
Well, it's happened a couple of times today. Georgetown has started to have some good drives, and then turnovers have shut them down. Inability to convert on 3rd and 4th down has shut them down. So just that drive right there was stereotypical of how the day's gone for our Eagles.
I talked to Coach Dean ahead of the game, and he had a few packages I know he wanted to run today. And they haven't been in the position to run those packages that he wanted to try.
Well, and you got to have the blocking to shut down the defenders on those. I guess trick plays is the term you use.
Here's a handoff up the middle and a nice 6 or 7 yard gain by Isaiah Harper.
Gage Leggett came in there and laid the wood on that guy.
Yeah, he came flying up.
Down to 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the ball game, and likely the season for Georgetown. 36-7, Shadow Creek leads this ball game. They have been out there the entire way. Turns around, hands it off again to Harper. Coming around to the near side, turns the corner across the 45, 50, 40, and he is tripped up. A touchdown-saving tackle by Gage Leggett as he takes down Harper at the 34 of the Eagles.
I thought Gage had taken an angle he wasn't going to be able to get there, but he got there and was able to take Harper's feet out from under him. Great tackle there by Gage.
Ball on the near hash mark, and the Sharks are beginning to slow this game to a snail's pace with 5:40 to go. 10 seconds left on the play clock. They're not even set to snap it yet. Snap back, hand off to Harper. Going around that right side again, and this time he is dragged down. Right around the 31-yard line, a pickup of 3 on the play. Felt like Noah Thompson out there on the tackle. Sorry, and Nick Petter. Also there, too.
Yeah, great pursuit.
You know, something I'm noticing here, Georgetown is switching out players because of the speed involved here. They're trying to keep some fresh defensive backs and linebackers in there.
Yeah, Coach Dean may be getting some of these seniors some playing time today, too. Just finish it off.
Play clock never restarted, I don't think. Either that or Shadow Creek just decided to let it roll all the way down and then call timeout. We're at 4:52 to go in the ball game. Shadow Creek leads it 36-7 over the Georgetown Eagles. Not really the way Georgetown envisioned the season ending, but it has been one heck of a playoff run so far for the Eagles.
It has, and these guys have a lot to hold their head up. It's been a great season. And, you know, there's a lot of people overlooked this Eagle team this year, and a lot of people didn't think they'd get this far in the playoffs. There was a whole group that didn't think Georgetown would even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But these guys have really fought hard this year. I'm so proud of these guys. It's been fun watching them play. It's been a great season. They got a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, 3-game losing streak in the middle of the year where a lot of people started counting Georgetown out. And, you know, the 3-game district losing streak, or, well, 2 of them in district, rather, and then come back and they'd won every game since until today.
Yep.
Handoff to Harper, this time going around the left side. Cuts up across the 30 to the 25 and all the way out to the 24. Should be enough for a first down, and Shadow Creek will move the chains again.
You know, last year's team, there was a lot of hope and some really good players. We talked to Caden earlier, but that's why expectations weren't real high for this Georgetown team this year. But these guys have really, really done a great job. I know this one hurts for these seniors, but, boy, you walk away from this season, and I think you label it a success. They've done a great job.
Well, and you look up and down the roster, it's a relatively young Georgetown team.
Yeah, it is.
You start seeing there's a lot of juniors on this club. Handoff up the middle to Harper, and he is stuck right around the line of scrimmage. Good tackle there by Taylor Beal.
Got to watch out there. Gave him a little extra pat there after he was down on the ground.
Well,
I'm
extra
glad it wasn't called. Yeah.
Yeah, we're losing Jackson. We're losing some of our key pieces. But, you know, you look up and down the line, and 1 and 2 deep on this Georgetown team, you got a pretty good group coming back next year. So
RJ's back, Taco Williams back, Corey Coleman, just key contributors. Isaiah Fillmore, just looking up and down the roster real quick. Chris Martinez, Andres Langhorn, who's been coming on lately, as a handoff up the middle this time to the third-string running back, number 28, Javion Bell. Pile still being pushed and now blown dead at the 21-yard line.
I think the defense is going to take the biggest hit on graduation this year, so they're going to have some pieces they've got to fill in. You know, you get some players like the Gage Leggett's of the world and some of these guys on the defensive line, and they're tough to replace. But, you know, you got some big kids coming up. So some good underclassmen that are going to be stepping in to fill in. So it's going to be interesting to watch these kids over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think immediately you look at the defense next year and you think Taylor Beal and Braden Hargrove are probably going to be your leaders on that side of the ball. As the handoff, the pitch play goes over to the near sideline, and again, that is Javion Bell on the carry, and some pushing and shoving after the play by Bell after taking a big hit. 3 minutes to go in the football game.
Beal has been all over this football field from one sideline to the other. He's running sprints all day.
These kids are going to be gassed, man.
2:48 left, 36-7 your score. Shadow Creek leads it. Well, they won't have to travel far next week for their quarterfinal football game. Handoff up the middle and taken down by a host of Georgetown Eagles there.
Actually taken down by number 60 on the offensive line of Shadow Creek. He ran into the back of him, and he got nowhere after that. Yeah, that's how big they are.
Players got to be careful. It looks like it's getting a little chippy down there at times. 3rd down, 3 to go now for Shadow Creek. Ball at the Georgetown 15 with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the ball game.
These kids are still fighting hard. Nate McMillan came up and just absolutely took on his lineman from the outside out there and laid a good lick on him and was able to get in there and be involved in that play.
Handoff, shooting up the middle, making a man miss is the running back Javion Bell. Shook off one tackler in the backfield and comes up just a yard shy of first down, so it'll be 4th and 1 for Shadow Creek.
Yeah, Noah Thompson was the defender that came flying through there and had a shot at him in the backfield, but he missed. Again, it's kind of how the day has gone.
Yeah, we talk about the speed of the Shadow Creek team, but I'll tell you what, their offensive players, their skill players, very elusive as well.
Yes.
Right, just very shifty and just hard to take down. 4th and 1, handoff up the middle, and it will be enough as Javion Bell gets the carry once again. He's out to the 10-yard line, 1:14 to go, and I got a feeling Shadow Creek's going to line up in victory formation and run the clock out here. Up 29.
Yeah, you hate for the season to end like this, but, you know, when these kids look back on this season, it's going to have been a success, but this one's going to hurt a little bit that you didn't perform better than you expected that you would. And I know Georgetown had every expectation of coming in here and winning the football game, but
yeah, it seemed like certain things were out of sync from the beginning as the Shadow Creek Sharks will take a knee. They need to take at least one more.
A lot of really good sportsmanship down here on the field, gentlemen. Number 77, big number 77, giving Mason Meyer a hug, and they're all, hugging each other and stuff right now. Just good sports right now.
Yeah, Georgetown seemed kind of out of sync from the beginning a little bit today. Shadow Creek had a lot to do with that. But the Eagles were in this ball game. It was only 14-0 at the half before Shadow Creek really blew it open here in the second half. Final knee of the ball game is taken, and that will do it as the Georgetown Eagles season will come to an end at the hands of the number 5 ranked Shadow Creek Sharks here at Bryan Field in Merrill Green Stadium in Bryan, Texas. Final score this afternoon, the Shadow Creek Sharks 36 and Georgetown 7. We are going to step aside real quick, let you hear from a couple of sponsors, come back, wrap up the broadcast and the season for you as we stick around here on SHN Sports. Stay with us. Back in just a minute.
Santa Phil is ready for Christmas. Santa Phil will attend birthday parties, call your child on or before Christmas to remind them that Santa is watching, receive and reply to wish letters, take Christmas card photos, receive and reply to wish emails, help with special promotions, and assist in advertising campaigns. Be sure to visit Santa at the Georgetown Christmas Stroll this Saturday in Georgetown. Visit your-santa.com for more information. That's your-santa.com. Merry Christmas from Santa Phil.
Back here at Merrill Green Stadium in Bryan, Texas, we start the postgame show. Georgetown falls this afternoon 36-7 to the Shadow Creek Sharks, and the season for the Georgetown Eagles will come to an end here in the third round of the UIL playoffs. A rough day for Georgetown, and it was all Shadow Creek from the beginning, really. Each team Shadow Creek actually missed a field goal on their first drive. Georgetown went 3 and out. Then on the second time that Shadow Creek touched the ball today, a 5-yard touchdown run from the quarterback, Jamarian George, on a scramble to make it 7-0. By the way, the Georgetown Eagle faithful giving a standing ovation across the way to their team. And, yep, go ahead.
Coach Dean, thank you for a memorable season so far. This team lived up to some great expectations, and obviously not happy with the way this turned out. Give us your thoughts today.
Well, obviously disappointed in the loss. It's a tournament, one-loss tournament, and we're out. So, just couldn't say enough great stuff about our seniors. Really proud of those kids. Got a ton of them. Just worked their tails off. They didn't give up, and they give us every ounce that they had. So, just really, really proud of those kids.
We are too. Thank you so much for your accessibility all year. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, come back down to you in just a second, Dave. We're going to wrap up real quick up here and come back to you as the Georgetown players all stand in unison facing the band and their fans with the school song over there. We mentioned the scoring output. Jamarian George with that first touchdown for Shadow Creek in the first quarter. In the second quarter, a 25-yard pass on 3rd and 24 from George to Keelan Jackson to make it 14-0. That was the score going into the half. Going into the third quarter, rather, Georgetown had the ball, couldn't get anything to do, or couldn't make anything happen. And on the first drive for the Sharks, a 29-yard touchdown pass from George to Jared Jackson, make it 21-0. That was their first hookup of the quarter. A safety then on a muff punt from Georgetown made it 23-0, and the Sharks would extend it to 30-0 on a 32-yard pass from George to Jared Jackson. Georgetown got some life late in the third quarter. A fumble recovery in the end zone with about 42 seconds to go. Braden Hargrove, with the recovery for a touchdown, 30-7 at that point. And this was kind of the big play after this. A 15-yard penalty on the Sharks allowed Georgetown to kick off from the Shadow Creek 45. An onside kick that Georgetown recovers, but they're called for a penalty on an illegal formation that we're not quite sure was illegal. And they had to re-kick it. After recovering the onside kick the first time, they couldn't do so the second time. That was kind of like just the backbreaker. And everything that could have gone wrong today went against Georgetown seemingly. And from there, Shadow Creek just leaned on Georgetown, adding one more touchdown in the fourth quarter. And that is your ball game, your final score, 36-7. The number 5 Sharks win in dominating fashion today. As we talked about it seemed like Georgetown was just off a little bit all day long.
Yeah, they were. And, a lot of that's to Shadow Creek's credit. Tough opponent, but it has been so much fun watching these Eagles this year play. And I guess to an extent you could say they've overachieved, but these kids just fought hard. And you see it even at the end of this game, just the fight that was in these kids and the willingness to sacrifice and do what they need to do all the way until that clock ran out. And your heart breaks for these seniors, but it's been a successful year, and they can walk away from this season with their heads up high. And a lot to look back on, great memories, and my thanks to the senior class this year and these seniors that have played their final game here for Georgetown. So great group of kids, fun to be around. This team's fun to be around, and, the coaches have given us great access, so we're thankful for that.
Dave, what are your final thoughts on the game and the season, sir?
Echo a lot of what y'all are saying. We go all the way back to 7-on-7. They qualified for the state tournament. They did really well, exceeded expectations there. This team, there was just so many question marks coming into the season what this team was going to be after last year's exceptional team that they had last year. And then for them to go all the way to the third round, and you saw them lose those 3 tough losses that, I told Emily that's what we needed. We needed to be humbled. And I think that after that, this team just played lights out, played good fundamental football for the rest of the season, and I think they should be very proud. Years from now, they're going to look back, and this is one of the more memorable teams in Georgetown football history. They gave us a great season, lots of excitement, and really good kids, and a lot to look forward to in the future as well.
Yeah, one thing to keep in remember here, guys, is Georgetown took down 2 district champions in this playoff run before succumbing to the number 5 team in the state. Well, that will pretty much wrap it up here. We will go ahead, Kelly. I know you want to thank some people.
Yeah. Primarily who I want to thank is Rob Hipp.
Yep, I was going to get to that.
Okay. Okay, I jumped the shark there.
Yeah, well,
I want to say my thanks to Rob and to all the SHN guys, to Dave. You've done a phenomenal job on the sideline, to Nathan, to Josh, to our statistician. Now his name just left me.
Galen
Welnicki, and just a great group of people to be around, all headed up by our fearless leader, Rob Hipp, and his devotion to making SHN.
Joy and Emily.
Well,
and Presley.
I want to echo the thanks to everybody with the SHN family. Rob, I know you've been listening in when you can. I know life has changed a little bit and forced you to miss some games. I appreciate you giving me the honor to fill in for you, but always remember, man, this is your seat, and whenever you are able to get back, and I'm sure it will be right to get started next season, the folks here on the Georgetown broadcast will be happy to hear the dulcet voice of Rob Hipp back where he belongs, up here in the radio booth, calling games for the Georgetown Eagles on SHN Sports. Also want to thank all of our sponsors once again. We couldn't do this without you guys. Like, literally, we could not have these games without you guys, so we really do appreciate it. Want to tell you once again what's going on in the playoff brackets. So with the win, Shadow Creek will take on their District 10 rivals in Foster. That game will be somewhere in the Houston area. Both teams just around the corner from each other. So they could theoretically flip for a home game if they wanted to, deciding what the coaches want to do down there. But if you want to see some more 5A action in this bracket, that game will be down in the Houston area next week. So for all of us, Dave England down on the sideline, Kelly DeVoll up here in the booth, Nathan Height helping run everything. Guys, it has been a pleasure to fill in and help out with you guys for the last few weeks. I've enjoyed the heck out of it.
Brad, thank you, man. It's been fun.
It has been more than fun. A great run by the Georgetown Eagles comes to an end in round 3 of the UIL 5A Division I playoffs as they succumb today to the Shadow Creek Sharks, the number 5 team in the state, by a final score of 36-7. Folks, thank you again for listening in all season long. Continue to follow SHN Sports online on Twitter. You never know when the next broadcast will be. I know there's typically broadcasts during other sports during the season, so hopefully we can make some of those happen. And if nothing else, we'll make sure we're back here for kickoff as the 2019 Georgetown Eagles take the field as well. Good afternoon. Good night, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.